Emo could only rejoice because renting a stall at least meant that he had a place to stay. Emo could only rejoice because renting a stall at least meant that he had a place to stay. The jade card said 569. 5 minutes later, Emo and Junbingyu came to their stall. Although it was just a low-grade stall, it was only the location that wasn't good. At the corner, the immortal spirit she was quite nice. It was many times better than the low-grade deck. This stall had its own level 1 defense immortal formation. There were also 2 levels. There were 2 rooms next to each other on the second floor. This was perfect for Emo and Junbingyu. There was also a defense immortal formation at level 2, but Emo didn't trust it. He added a defense and barrier formation to level 2 but didn't touch the original defense formation and restrictions. Although these couldn't block the spirit sense of immortal kings, they could at least let Emo know when people scanned with spirit sense. Emo had seen the middle deck marketplace. There were quite some people here. At least the immortals used immortal crystals in a completely different way than the immortals at the lower deck. When they saw something they needed, they wouldn't mind buying it. Emo also noticed there were mostly great unity immortals and abstruse immortals here. There were a rare few great extreme immortals and not a single great eternity immortal or golden immortal. Every second meant immortal crystals in this marketplace. As soon as they came here, they were ready to open. Junbingyu was too heavily injured, so Emo didn't ask her to help and let her rest at level 2. With just half a day of preparation, Emo hung up the sign reading MOU Pill Tower. It said pill concoction was available for level 3 and level 4 immortal pills, and that level 3 and level 4 pills were sold as well. Most of the people here were great unity immortals and abstruse immortals. But even if there were a lot of great extreme immortal, Emo didn't dare to easily say he could concoct level 5 immortal pills. After half a day, not a single person came. Now Emo realized how important the stall's location was. Many people wouldn't even walk to this corner. There were many pill towers in the market, and MOU was very ordinary. These corner pill towers were pretty much all lower deck immortals coming to resell pills. They didn't entice the middle deck immortals at all. A day passed like this, not a single person even came to his stall. Now he realized why the manager looked at him with contempt. He knew that no one would come to visit his stall. Now, Junbingyu's essence spirit had pretty much recovered and she could use some spirit sense. Emo helped her make a simple flying chair magic artifact, allowing her to fly a short distance. She flew down to level 1. I have a way, Junbingyu said immediately. What way? Emo asked in confusion. We can be proactive, make some flyers that state clearly you can concoct level 4 immortal pills. Then send them out in the market and soon people will come, Junbingyu said. Emo shook his head speechlessly. That's because you haven't done business before. We came from the lower deck. Do you see anyone sending out flyers in the market? I think what we'll be getting from the flyers is trouble, not business. Junbingyu immediately realized that if Emo dared to go to other pill towers and steal their business, they wouldn't be able to stay here anymore. What do we do then? Junbingyu was worried too. Wait, Emo said heavily. He knew he could only wait. The two didn't wait for long. Someone came on the second day. He didn't come to buy immortal pills but to collect the stall tax. It wasn't much, but it meant Emo had to pay another 3,000 immortal crystals. From the immortal collecting tax, Emo knew that in order to live at the middle deck, one had to pay 5 million immortal crystals a year. It seemed he was far from being able to live at the middle deck. And Emo could tell from his tone that it was just a theoretical price. Those immortals from the lower deck wouldn't be able to simply stay here with just immortal crystals. They would need connections. There was no business on the second day either. Junbingyu said nothing, seeing Emo remain silent, but she didn't go to cultivate. Emo was thinking what the chances of survival were if he went into the void with Junbingyu. Emo couldn't just leave her behind. When should he enter the void? Should he last till the next void storm, or use the opportunity to collect asteroids? These were the only 2 opportunities of reaching the void on this ship. He could also spend immortal crystals to go to the top deck and watch the view, but Emo could guess that he would only be able to look there. If he could easily jump off, then the defense formation of the ship would be too garbage. If we really don't have a way, then I'll give my body to you. Jinbingyu sighed and said upon seeing Yemo contemplate for many hours. Yemo was roused by Jinbingyu's words and looked at her in confusion. You like me? No, there's only the Tao in my heart. I've never thought about anything else. Jinbingyu shook her head but continued. But I'm very grateful to you. You saved me and never gave up on me. I'm thinking that if I'm going to die anyways, then the Tao would be out of reach. Since you like lust, I don't mind giving it to you. Yemo said plainly. I couldn't be bothered explaining to you before, but now that you said it, I'll tell you. To me, it's not lust. That thing can only be done between people who like each other. You never liked me and I never liked you, so you don't need to bring this thing up again. What is the feeling of liking someone? Do you have someone you like? Is it Nianmei? Jinbingyu didn't get angry at all. Yemo stood up and said, I only discuss these things with people I like. I would rather discuss the Tao with you. As for Qin Nianmei, I won't explain the things between her and I, it's pointless. At this moment, a one-eyed immortal came to the door, a great unity immortal primary stage. You can concoct level 4 immortal pills here? The great unity immortal asked immediately. Yemo saluted with his fists. That's right, Qian Bei, what level 4 immortal pills do you need to concoct, or what pill do you want to buy? The immortal scanned Yemo's loosely filled racks and frowned but didn't leave. I have only one all-heaven star, it can't go to waste. You want to concoct the refined star pill? Yemo asked heavily. The immortal nodded approvingly. That's right, but it has to succeed and must be a middle-grade pill or above. If you fail, your life will be taken. Then he looked at Yemo's face. Yemo's face didn't change at all. Of course Yemo was calm. He could concoct level 6 immortal pills. A mere level 4 immortal pill was all too easy. But he didn't answer immediately. I guess you've been to other pill towers and no one dares to take it, right? In great immortal cultivation, one might be poisoned with heart demons. The immortals plagued with that would gradually lose their bodies and essence spirits, and completely dissipate into thin air. But refined star pills could remedy this. It was only a level 4 immortal pill, but it was very hard to concoct. That's right, I bought this all-heaven star with a hefty price from the top deck. I only have this one. If you can't concoct it, tell me and I'll find someone else. The immortal glared at Yemo. That's right, I bought this all-heaven star with a hefty price from the top deck. I only have this one. If you can't concoct it, tell me and I'll find someone else. The immortal glared at Yemo. Yemo smiled. A mere refined star pill won't trouble me, but I want to ask, what price will you pay if I can concoct it for you? If you can give me a middle-grade refined star pill, I'll give you 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals, the immortal said without hesitation. Yemo was shook. The refined star pill was hard to concoct, but its price was far below a great unity pill. Usually, a great unity pill could sell for 300,000 to 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals, and there was always a lack of supply. A refined star pill would only usually be worth 20,000 top-grade immortal crystals. This immortal offered such an insane price. The immortal ship was indeed a good place for business. If you think the price isn't good enough, I can add more as long as you can concoct the refined star pill, the immortal added. Yemo waved his hand. No need, but I have one condition. I can concoct 6 pills. Give me 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals and then I'll give you 3 pills and I'll keep 3 for myself. Ordinary immortal pill grade masters could indeed concoct 6 pills. Better immortal pill grade masters could concoct 9 pills. Yemo could completely do 12 pills. On this ship he was poor. This immortal could go to top deck to buy things, so clearly he wasn't ordinary. Plus, he wouldn't need that many pills. The rest of the pills would be perfect for him to open up. That's fine. The immortal nodded without hesitation and said, As long as you can give me 3 pills, you can get the rest and I'll pay you 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals. Okay. Yemo nodded and said, Give me the herbs and I'll do it now. Hearing this, The immortal didn't hesitate at all and threw out a pile of herbs. Seeing Emo take them, the immortal warned again. If you fail, I will take your life and that of your doubt partners. Emo knew that people couldn't kill so easily in the middle deck, but they could form contracts. If one repudiated a contract, the other could kill him. Emo had no pressure at all when concocting level 4 immortal pills and signed his name without hesitation. Seeing Emo go up to concoct pills, the immortal didn't sit down nor go see Jinbingyu. He just stared at the stairway without blinking. Clearly, the pills were very important to him. Emo only needed 5 minutes for level 4 immortal pills, but he purposely took 15 minutes making 3 special grade, 8 top grade, and 1 middle grade. He could make them all special grade, but Emo felt it was unnecessary. He only needed to give 1 middle grade and 2 top grade pills to this immortal. This would only mean his skills were rather good amongst level 4 immortal pill grade masters. If there was a special grade, then it would mean he was a level 5 immortal pill grade master. 2 hours later, Emo came down. The man was still at the stairway, and when he saw Emo come down, he immediately asked nervously, "How did it go?" "It's all right." Emo handed over a jade bottle. The Great Unity Immortal desperately opened the bottle, and when he saw there were 2 top grade and 1 middle grade refined star pills, he was overjoyed. "Thank you, Master, thank you. There are even 2 top grade pills, great." Emo could tell by this person's attitude that the person plagued with heart demon poison was very important to this immortal. Emo smiled. "I'm just a businessman." The Great Unity Immortal was very excited and tore the contract before taking out 700,000 immortal crystals and gave them to Emo. "Great Master, can you sell another refined star pill to me? 1 refined star pill is enough for the worst heart demon poison?" Emo asked in confusion, and only took 500,000. "That's right, but because I have a lot of friends on board and because the ship is flying in the void between realms, there is a lack of universe law. Cultivating here is susceptible to heart demon poison. It's good to have backup," the immortal quickly said. Emo thought and realized that this immortal seemed to know a lot of people here. Thinking about this, he took out 1 more refined star pill and gave it to him. "No need for immortal crystals, you're my first customer, so you can keep this pill. Wanbei only wants Qianbei to bring some business over." The Great Unity Immortal took the pill and raised his thumb. "Okay, I approve of you as a friend. You probably came from the lower deck, right? Just with your immortal pill great master skills you can survive stably in the middle deck and maybe even the top deck. Don't worry about business. I'll introduce my friends to you. And we're friends now, so no need to call me Qianbei and stuff. Peng will be needing you quite a lot in the future." Emo rejoiced. He didn't expect to get a long-term customer for his first business transaction, and quickly said, "I'm Emo, I'll be troubling Brother Peng in the future." "No problem, but I just got the refined star pill, so now I have to go. After I save the person, I'll come find you," Peng Gondang said. Emo sent Peng Gondang to the door and said, "Brother Peng, I just want to survive, I'm not asking to be famous." Peng Gondang immediately knew what Emo meant by this and said, "Brother Yi, don't worry, the friends I will bring are good friends. They won't go around telling everyone you can concoct top-grade level 4 immortal pills." Emo approved of Peng Gondang and saluted with his fists. In less than 3 days, Emo earned 500,000 top-grade immortal crystals and 8 refined star pills. According to Peng Gondang, refined star pills were quite a hot item on this ship. Seeing Emo finally start getting business, Jinbingyu breathed easy too. She didn't fear death, but if she could avoid it, why would she want to die? Jinbingyu went back upstairs to cultivate again, leaving Emo downstairs to practice his formations and watch over business. But only Peng Gondang came. The next few days, no one came to ask for pill concoction. Emo could only choose to study formations. His formation skills were very low, he only had level 2 immortal formation skills. This was far from enough for Emo now. On the 6th day, Peng Gondang brought 2 immortals over. One was a female immortal who seemed very ethereal. Emo kept notice of this female immortal, and saw she was stronger than Peng Gondang. She was great extreme immortal tertiary stage. The male immortal behind Pen Gondang was very ordinary. He was just a great unity immortal, but Yemo felt this Han Changjin wasn't as ordinary as he seemed. Brother Yi, I brought 2 friends over for you to see. This is Holy Hand Immortal Nun Kai, and this is my friend Han Changjin. The refined star pill was for him. He came over just to thank you, Pen Gondang said. Yemo quickly greeted them. He didn't know what cultivation method Kai used, but it made him respect her. Brother Yi, Holy Hand Immortal nuns usually don't come out casually, but because you saved Brother Changjin she came. Seeing Yemo was very polite but didn't understand what he meant, Pen Gondang said. Holy Hand Immortal Nun cultivates the Tao of medicine. She's also a level 3 immortal pill master. I brought her to help you this time. Help me? Yemo was confused. Holy Hand Immortal Nun smiled and said, I heard Great Master Yi can concoct top-grade level 4 immortal pills, so I came to learn. I also heard your Tao partner has injuries. I wanted to see if I could help. Her tone was soft and had a serene sensation to it, making Yemo calm down. Yemo immediately had respect for her. She was a great extreme immortal, and yet still said she came to learn. Clearly she had quite good manners. Thank you, Holy Nun Qianbei. Wanbei will bring Marshall's sister down now. Yemo quickly went up and brought Jinbingyu down. He knew what he lacked. His cultivation method was good, but his knowledge wasn't that great. Thank you, Holy Nun Qianbei. Wanbei will bring Marshall's sister down now. Yemo quickly went up and brought Jinbingyu down. He knew what he lacked. His cultivation method was good, but his knowledge wasn't that great. Jinbingyu was also excited that a medical Tao immortal was willing to check her up. She was also beginning to get desperate after not finding a way to cure her injuries for so long. Bingyu greets Holy Nun Qianbei. Jinbingyu greeted. The Holy Nun smiled and went up to help Jinbingyu walk and led her to a soft seat. You failed Nirvana. As soon as she held Jinbingyu's hands, she called out in shock. She couldn't not be shocked. Preserving the body after Nirvana failure was extremely rare. She knew that usually, only essence spirit would remain after Nirvana failure, and the essence spirit would slowly dissipate. Yet this woman failed, but not only did her essence spirit not dissipate, her body was fine too. Just from what she said, Yemo and Jinbingyu knew how capable this holy nun was. Her hands only just touched Jinbingyu. Yes, Holy Nun Qianbei. Jinbingyu quickly answered in excitement. Hearing this, Holy Nun fell into silence for a long while before saying, Theoretically one can rebuild the body after Nirvana failure, but it's actually extremely hard. For your situation, you can use the 9-color lotus in the cultivation realm, but even after you use it, your power will be all gone and your spirit roots will become ordinary. Without a few 100,000 years, don't even think about reaching great immortal. Plus, your situation is your spirit roots dissolving. Not even the 9-color lotus might be able to recover it. Another way is to find the chaos blue reed to rebuild the body, or find the clear mind lotus to repair the spirit roots. The holy nun sighed before continuing. But both of these aren't things ordinary people can get. Not even immortal emperors will be able to get such immortal spirit herbs easily. Jinbingyu's heart sunk. She didn't expect her situation to be this bad. How could she find another chaos blue reed? But it's very amazing you can keep your body and essence spirit. Ordinary immortals wouldn't be able to keep their body and essence spirit, but not only did you preserve your body fine, your essence spirit is very stable too. Then she looked at Yemo on the side. Unless there's an extreme grade body refinement cultivation method and one used an extreme grade immortal spirit herb such as the chaos blue reed, one wouldn't be able to be in your condition. But how can one fail Nirvana with the chaos blue reed? I'm very shook. I can't even imagine why the essence spirit isn't dissolving. Yemo and Jinbingyu glanced at each other. Only now did they realize they thought of Nirvana too lightly. They thought the greatest danger of failure was losing one's body, but now it seemed that even the essence spirit would slowly start to cripple. Seeing Yemo and Jinbingyu not speak, the holy nun knew these two probably wouldn't say why she could keep her body and essence spirit. She didn't ask and said, This martial sister's body and essence spirit are fine, But her spirit roots are beginning to dissolve and it's getting worse. If you don't stop this, in time even the clear mind lotus won't be able to repair it. Please teach us, Holy Nun Qianbei. Yemo quickly bowed. Holy Nun nodded and said, My method will only work if you're a level 4 immortal pill great master. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it. Even though it's still dangerous, it's better than no hope at all. We're flying in the void between realm domains. The ship will stop every half a year, and at this time many immortals would go collect asteroids. You can apply to go too. Hearing this, Yemo breathed easy. From her tone, the higher the pill master level the easier things would be. He was a level 6 immortal pill great master now. There's an immortal spirit item in the void called Void Flying Snow. It's extremely rare and is a level 7 immortal spirit herb. It's extremely hard to find and catch. The holy nun was sighing to herself. She could tell this immortal pill great master really wanted to help treat his Tao partner. But how could the Void Flying Snow be so easily found? Holy nun, you're asking Brother Yi to collect Void Flying Snow? Pengondang couldn't resist asking. The holy nun nodded. It's very hard to collect it indeed, but if her spirit root is to be preserved, there's nothing else that can help her. Yemo quickly said. Holy Nun Qianbei, Wanbei is very grateful. Even if I can't find it, I will know the way to treat Martial Sister. Holy Nun quite approved of Yemo. He was an immortal pill great master and had such a beautiful martial sister. However, he didn't take her virginity and never gave up on her. This was very rare. On this ship, there were too many instances of Tao partners abandoning each other. Even if Jin Bingyu wasn't heavily injured, some selfish person would have already taken her virginity and then sold her off. She had seen too many of these things on the ship. If she knew that the two weren't even Tao partners, perhaps she would be even more shocked. The Void Flying Snow is shaped like a snow flower. It appears in the void and is as fast as a top-grade flying immortal artifact flying at full speed. Some higher quality ones fly even faster. The holy nun sighed and continued. It's because of this that it's so highly valued, more valuable than level 7 and even level 8 immortal spirit herbs. Yemo thought of the corner soulweed. It was like this when he was capturing it. The corner soulweed was extremely fast and couldn't simply be caught. But after trying for a long time and using his spirit sense cultivation method, he even caught it. He wondered if the way he caught corner soulweed would be useful against that Void Flying Snow. Please teach me the method to catch Void Flying Snow. Wanbei will be extremely grateful. Yemo said respectfully again. Holy Nun signaled Yemo not to bow and said, The main use of Void Flying Snow is to purify spirit roots. If you consume pills made from it on a regular basis, it can even purify immortal spirit roots. There are 2 types of pills I know that can be made from Void Flying Snow. One is called Void Spirit Pill, another is Flying Snow Pill. Both of these pills can stabilize spirit roots and purify them. Then, she passed a jade slip to Yemo. There's the concoction method of these 2 pills on it. You're a level 4 immortal pill great master, so you should be able to understand. Yemo quickly looked at the jade slip. There were indeed 2 pill recipes. One was for the Void Spirit Pill, a level 5 immortal pill. Flying Snow pills were level 6 immortal pills which had all the effects of the Void Spirit pills. The Void Spirit Pill was clearly for level 5 immortal pill great masters. Yemo was a level 6 immortal pill great master. Of course he was going to concoct the Flying Snow Pill. The Jade Slip also mentioned that the Flying Snow Pill could reduce heart demons. This was a huge enticement for cultivators. The pity is, even the Flying Snow Pill can only stop her spirit roots from worsening. It can't completely repair her spirit roots unless you find the Clear Mind Lotus. Plus, if you want to find Void Flying Snow, you have to go to the Realm Domain Void. In there, even immortal kings might die if they're unlucky. The pity is, even the Flying Snow Pill can only stop her spirit roots from worsening. It can't completely repair her spirit roots unless you find the Clear Mind Lotus. Plus, if you want to find Void Flying Snow, you have to go to the Realm Domain Void. In there, even immortal kings might die if they're unlucky. The holy nun looked at Emo. She didn't know how determined Emo was to save Jinbingyu, so she waited for his response. If Emo wanted to go, she could only tell him that with his power, even if he saw the flying snow, he wouldn't be able to get it. She shouldn't have told Emo about the void flying snow, but Emo was a level 4 immortal pill great master, and seeing his pills, it didn't seem impossible for him to reach a level 5 immortal pill great master. If one day he missed the opportunity of getting void flying snow, it would be unfair for him. Brother Yi, even great eternity immortals find it very difficulty to capture void flying snow. The holy nun just wants you to know there is such a thing. With your power, it's impossible to find void flying snow, Pengondeng said. I know, thank you holy nun Qian Bei and brother Peng. Emo got up and thanked them again. There was a sliver of despair in Jinbingyu's eyes. She didn't expect her spirit roots to be continuously dissolving. If it wasn't suppressed, her spirit roots would eventually turn to nothing. Even if nothing happened to her sect, her master wouldn't be able to help her. Thank you holy nun Qian Bei. Wan Bei knows that not only are my spirit roots dissolving but even my meridians have shattered completely. It's useless even if I get the void flying snow. Jinbingyu thanked. She had made up her mind that she wouldn't allow Emo to go risk his life in the heaven domain void again. She was bound to her. It was meaningless for Emo to risk going to the heaven domain void. Plus, she felt she owed Emo enough already. If she owed him more, she wouldn't be able to die peacefully. No, your meridians will automatically heal if your spirit root is recovered. For us immortals, this is no serious injury. Then the holy nun said to Emo, Today I came over also wanting to ask a few questions from Master Yi. When I was concocting level 4 immortal pills, there were many times when I was about to succeed but I couldn't control the immortal flavor of the pill and thus I couldn't pull the pill. Every time I feel it should be fine to pull the pill, but after I pull it the pill will automatically crack. Emo knew her problem. He had encountered it as well but only once, and he quickly corrected it with his 3-birth chant. Her current problem was due to the fact that she couldn't control her spirit sense and pill spell when she pulled pills. Since she was at this step, it meant that she was about to enter level 4 immortal pill great master. She just needed a little bit of guidance. Emo took out a jade slip, and then imprinted why she failed as well as some things to take note of in, and then gave the jade slip to Holy Nun. Holy Nun Qian Bei, after you read this jade slip you should be able to concoct level 4 immortal pills. Huh? Seeing the holy nun take the jade slip, Pengondeng asked in disbelief. Brother Yi, isn't that a bit of an overstatement? Looking at your jade slip will allow her to reach level 4 immortal pill great master? Even the great unity immortal looked at Emo in confusion. He could tell Emo wasn't someone who liked to bluff, but what he said was illogical. If one was to reach level 4 immortal pill great master so easily, then there would be too many level 4 immortal pill great masters. The holy nun was quite skeptical, but with her mannerisms she didn't show any expression, and just accepted the jade slip calmly before scanning her spirit sense in. Moments later, her face was excited, half joyful and half frowning. Seeing this, everyone immediately knew that the jade slip Emo gave her was very useful. She had immersed her mind into it, and no one went to disturb her. 5 minutes later, Holy Nun suddenly put down the jade slip and closed her eyes to think. Then, she immediately took out a pill cauldron and was about to concoct pills on the spot. Pengondeng and Han Changjin glanced at each other, seeing the confusion in each other's eyes. Was it really as Emo said, his jade slip could allow Holy Nun to reach level 4 immortal pill great master immediately? She was beginning to refine herbs as she threw the immortal spirit herbs into the cauldron one by one. Half an hour later, Holy Nun suddenly started using pill-pulling spells. Emo nodded. The Holy Nun had completely grasped the places that the pill-pulling spell needed to change if the pills couldn't be pulled. After the pill-pulling spell, she swept up 6 pills and put them into a jade bottle. Emo's spirit sense already scanned the 6 low-grade Xianfan pills and he immediately congratulated. Congratulations on reaching level 4 immortal pill great master, Holy Nun Qian Bei. She really succeeded? Pingonang and Han Changjun looked at the jade bottle dazedly in disbelief. Was it really this easy to become a level 4 immortal pill great master under Yi Mo's tutelage? Holy Nun was calm-mannered, but she couldn't resist the joy in her heart right now. She didn't expect the problem that has troubled her for many years was easily pointed out by Yi Mo and given such a precise resolution. She heard Yi Mo's words and bowed to Yi Mo. Master Yi, your pill concoction skills are far superior to mine. Please take me in as your disciple. Seeing this, Pingonang and Han Changjun were struck again. Yi Mo quickly got up and said, Holy Nun, my name is Kai. Please call me by my name, Master. If you call me Qianbei, I won't be able to take it. Holy Nun truly respected Yi Mo now. She was certain that Yi Mo wasn't a level 4 immortal pill great master. She didn't know what level Yi Mo's pill concoction skills were, but she was certain that not even an immortal pill grand master would be able to know her problem after just listening to a few words from her and let her reach level 4 immortal pill great master on the spot. Yi Mo let Kai sit down and said, In that case I'll call you Martial Sister Kai. I won't take in disciples. I'm still learning myself. No need to mention about being my disciple, but of course you can come and discuss the pill Tao with me frequently. Yi Mo was pretty much teaching her in another sense, and Kai could tell this, of course. She felt pity, but she got up and thanked him. Seeing that Pingonang was about to say something, Yi Mo quickly stopped him and said, Brother Pun, thanks for bringing Martial Sister Kai today to help. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I came to invite you to the Top Deck Pill Master Social. If you show your skills there will be plenty of opportunities for you to earn immortal crystals. Pingonang quickly said. Brother Pung lives at the top deck? Yi Mo was truly shocked. Pingonang smiled with embarrassment. Yes, I was too worried about Changjun brother's injuries, so I didn't have time to tell you. Don't worry, you will have so many immortal crystals you wouldn't even be able to use them. Even if you don't go to the social, you can still earn large sums of immortal crystals. Then Pingonang subconsciously looked at Han Changjun. Brother Yi, I came to thank you for saving my life. Don't worry about a residence, you can come with us to the top deck now. We can get your identity and room sorted. Han Changjun saluted with his fists and had a sliver of desperation in his eyes. But Yi Mo felt this person wasn't as worthy of a friend as Kai and Pingonang. Clearly, he made his decision to invite him to the top deck on the spot after seeing him let Kai reach Immortal Pill Great Master so easily. He could tell that this Han Changjun wasn't simple. Even Pingonang seemed to look at him for decisions. Thank you, Brother Han and Brother Ping. I feel the middle deck is great, so I won't go to the top deck. Plus, I don't like to stay with too many people, Yi Mo said politely. Yi Mo was very happy with the middle deck. As for top deck, it would at most be more spacious. That was unnecessary for Yi Mo. He couldn't cultivate on this ship, and the nearer he was to the special deck, the higher the chances he would be exposed. As for going to the Immortal Pill Master Social, he didn't even think about it. Yi Mo was very happy with the middle deck. As for top deck, it would at most be more spacious. That was unnecessary for Yi Mo. He couldn't cultivate on this ship, and the nearer he was to the special deck, the higher the chances he would be exposed. As for going to the Immortal Pill Master Social, he didn't even think about it. Han Changjun was a little disappointed, but he didn't say much. The few chatted together for a while before getting up and leaving. Han Changjun mentioned taking Yi Mo to the top deck again, but Yi Mo rejected. After the few people walked away, Jin Bingyu asked strangely, Martial Brother Yi, why did you reject them? You helped them, so it's fine for you to go to the top deck. Yi Mo waved up some restrictions and said heavily, I suspect they're not immortals from the low heaven domains, they come from a middle heaven domain. Although that Han Changjun doesn't speak much, I feel those few people treat him as the leader. A middle heaven domain? You're saying they went from middle to low and then back to a middle domain? Do they have too many immortal crystals? Jin Bingyu asked in confusion. That's what I don't understand. They seem to have substantial origin and they're not cultivation orientated. We just need to know them, no need to connect deeply with them. Yi Mo answered. Jin Bingyu nodded. I understand, but I hope you won't go find the void flying snow. Emo smiled. Don't worry, I have confidence that I won't die. Can you tell me about your past in the cultivation realm? Of course. In this expensive stall, Emo and Jinbingyu just chatted for a whole day. Just when they thought another day would pass like this without any business, the immortal who collected tax came to Yemo's pill tower again. Yemo knew he was called Liansong. He was a great Unity Immortal primary stage, but was very mature and easy to talk to. But this time, he brought another great Unity Immortal along with him. Great Master Yi, I heard you're going to settle at the middle deck. I'm here to help you do the procedures. The other great Unity Immortal said. Seeing Yemo's confusion, Liansong quickly explained. Great Master Yi, this is the Immortal Manager responsible for the residential area of the middle deck, Huan Yajing. If you want to settle in the middle deck, you just need to go to him. Yemo said in confusion. But I don't have immortal crystals. You said last time that even the most ordinary place in the middle deck will cost 5 million immortal crystals a year. Huan Yajing smiled. Great Master Yi, don't worry. You just need to give me your original card and I'll help you switch it. Yemo immediately realized that one of the three helped him. Why did they come to him for pill concoction then? Theoretically, with their power, they would be able to find a better immortal pill great master on the top deck. Yemo still rejected. Thank you, Manager Huang, but I plan to trouble you after I get enough immortal crystals myself. Hearing this, Huan Yajing immediately knew Yemo didn't want to owe anyone. He was contemptuous but didn't say anything. Pinganing seems like a good person, Jinbingyu said after the two left. She felt Yemo could take the offer. Yemo waved his hand. Did you notice Pingdandong's words before? When he came, he said if I get famous at the Immortal Pill Master Social, I can earn large sums of immortal crystals. But after seeing I let Holy Nun reach a level 4 Immortal Pill Great Master, that Han Chungjin exchanged glances with him, and he immediately said that even if I don't go to the social, I can still earn large sums of money. You're saying? Jinbingyu asked. Yemo shook his head. I don't know about them, but I'm certain there's some secret. If I accept their goodwill, then they will treat me as one of their own and tell me the secret. Jinbingyu was very smart, and immediately realized. If we know their secret, we have to be with them, or else, yes, or else we have to die. With their power on this ship, it's all too easy to kill the two of us. Plus, I'm certain there are more powerful immortals behind them. Yemo said. That Holy Nun seems very nice, Jinbingyu said. Yemo didn't answer. He felt Kaiyu was a good person, but he didn't know them well. Yemo rejected their goodwill, and indeed in the next few days they didn't come again. However, Yemo's business grew well. Some immortals knew that top deck immortals and even Manager Huang went to Yemo's shop, so they came too. With this, MOU Pill Tower's fame grew. All their level 4 immortal pills were top grade, below level 4 were special grade. Such quality was top-notch even in the market here. In a short 2 weeks, Yemo earned nearly 6 million immortal crystals. A month's rent was about to come. Yemo spent another 3 million to stay an extra half a year at the middle deck and extended his stall's lease by 2 months. He spent all of his immortal crystals again, but Yemo wasn't worried. The name of his shop grew and immortal crystals flowed in non-stop. At this moment, Yemo knew that at the middle deck, one could stay in the market, but you must rent for 10 years. The 10 years rent was a steep price, but Yemo didn't feel it was expensive. He needed to rent a stall in the market. He didn't need to go find another place to settle. 2 months had passed. Only Pingdandong came to him one more time. Even he just chatted with him a few times without focus and left quickly. Yemo still hadn't gotten the right to settle at the middle deck, but he got his foothold now. In the middle deck market, MOU's Pill Tower had become the best place to get level 4 and below immortal pills. The pills were very high quality, but were limited to level 4 immortal pills. Today, Yemo just sent off a customer and was studying formations when Liansong quickly ran over. Although he was just a small immortal for collecting tax, Yemo still helped him quite a bit. He pretty much didn't charge him anything for pill concoction. In time, the two became familiar. They weren't friends, but Yemo could get lots of news from him. Why did brother you run over so desperately? Yemo put away the formation materials and saluted with his fists. Great Master Yi, the ship stopped today. Many people are going to collect asteroids to earn immortal crystals. Are you going? Yu Liansang quickly said. For some small managers like them who had no real power, it was very lucky that they could connect with a level 4 immortal pill Great Master. Yemo thought that it would Pinganang would be coming to tell him, but he didn't come. Now that the ship stopped, of course he would go, but not for the asteroids, he was going for the void flying snow. Thank you, brother Yu, I plan to get some asteroids. How do I get there? Yemo saluted with his fists. Yu Liansang didn't expect an immortal pill Great Master would go get asteroids. He called Yemo just to go view the void scenery and connect with him better. No problem, I can take you over. When the immortal ship stops, all the areas will open the deck to the void. You just need to go into the void from the deck, but the void is very dangerous and the ship only stays here for half a year. If you don't come back on time, the ship won't wait, Yu Liansang said. Yemo quickly said. I know, thank you brother Yu, I'll tell my martial sister and we can go now. But Jin Bingyu already came down. She sighed, she knew she couldn't change Yemo's mind of going to search the void flying snow, but she didn't want Yemo to go in like that. I'll go with you, Jin Bingyu said. Jin Bingyu was planning to argue if Yemo wasn't going to let her. However, Yemo agreed without even thinking and replied, Okay. Jin Bingyu was planning to argue if Yemo wasn't going to let her. However, Yemo agreed without even thinking and replied, Okay. Seeing Yemo carry Jin Bingyu on his back and about to go enter the realm domain void, Yu Liansang was more confused. Jin Bingyu was clearly heavily injured and couldn't even walk by herself. Why did Yemo take her to the void? Brother Yu, please lead the way, there should be more asteroids the earlier we go, Yemo said. He was planning to leave a message for Pinganang. He felt the guy was mysterious but was a nice person. If something happened to him in the void and he couldn't get back, he would let Pinganang take Jin Bingyu to Tang Yao Heaven. But their relationship was only ordinary, he couldn't care about it. The reason he planned to ask was because he was the only one who could help Jin Bingyu if he couldn't make it back. Since Jin Bingyu wanted to go with him now, then would go together. He understood what Jin Bingyu meant. The realm domain void was so dangerous that even an immortal king might die if he was unlucky, much less an abstruse immortal. If he didn't come back, Jin Bingyu would be dead for sure. Yu Liansang heard this and knew Yemo had made up his mind. He quickly took out a round disc and gave it to Yemo. Great Master Yi, there's no direction in the void. This void disc can clearly locate the ship, you can have it. Yemo quickly thanked Yu Liansang and took the disc. When Yemo carried Jin Bingyu and followed Yu Liansang to the balcony of the middle deck, the place was full of immortals. They ranged from Golden Immortal Peak Stage to Great Eternity Immortal, but there were only a few Golden Immortal Peak Stage, and not many Great Eternity Immortals. There were mainly Abstruse Immortal and Great Unity Immortal. They were all waiting for the restriction to open. Those immortals selling location discs had great business, but Yemo already had one. Gazing into the distance, there was just emptiness. It seemed like an endless black hole with a few occasional asteroids darting past, further accentuating the emptiness of this place. Yemo had been in the void fissure at a lower realm and felt it was normal, but Jin Bingyu was shook. If it wasn't that she couldn't stop Yemo from going in, she definitely wouldn't want Yemo to go in for the void flying snow. Even she was scared seeing this place. She had been to the heaven domain void, but compared to the void here, it was nothing. When she scanned her spirit sense out here, it felt like she was searching a vast ocean. Martial Brother Yi, can you change the soft seat on your back to a rope? This way I can lay on you and reduce the space between us, Jin Bingyu said. Yemo knew that Jin Bingyu meant if there was too much distance between the two it would increase the power of the void storms, and one of them might be taken away. Okay. Yemo knew it was better to stay closer in the void. It was very dangerous to get separated, Jin Bingyu might even be torn apart. As soon as Yemo said this, he heard the manager yell. The restrictions are open, everyone go in slowly. Please come back to the ship within half a year. All the restrictions were open, and it made people feel edgy. It was as though there was a bottomless cliff outside. The howls of the void wind seemed scary. Rumble 2 asteroids clashed in their spirit sense, creating a huge explosion. The void flow instantly took an abstruse immortal at the border into the void. Yuliansang took a few steps back and said, "So powerful! Brother Yi, I'll be standing at the back, be careful." "I know, thank you, Brother Yu," Yemo said, and then took out a low-grade immortal artifact rope and tied Jinbingyu tightly to his back. The two balls of softness made him subconsciously shiver. No matter what, Jinbingyu was extremely beautiful and her body was perfect. Although Jinbingyu couldn't gather immortal essence, her spirit sense was still there and her senses were acute. Yumo's back muscles shivered and his body temperature rose a little, and she immediately felt it. She couldn't help but sigh. If he had a Tao heart like hers, his future would be boundless. Why was lust so mesmerizing for immortals? Thinking about how she offered to give herself to Yemo, Jinbingyu sighed. She couldn't be completely heartless either. If she was completely heartless, she wouldn't even say that. Suddenly her heart shook. If she was completely heartless, would Yemo save her? She had been with Yemo for a while now and knew Yemo's character. He definitely wouldn't save a heartless person. The reason he helped her till now was because when he was in his most vulnerable moment, she didn't abandon him. If she really heartlessly abandoned Yemo and he happened to survive, what would happen? The result would be obvious. Jinbingyu was extremely beautiful, but Yemo really didn't think much of it. There were a few reasons Yemo saved her. They were on the same team, and she didn't abandon him when he was vulnerable. Plus, she was in this state due to him. The more Jinbingyu thought, the more her heart was confused. Yemo's body heat passed to her chest, making her feel an indescribable sense of fulfillment and joy. She had never felt this way for a long time. Just when Jinbingyu was still thinking, the space nearby suddenly cleared up and an emptiness struck her. She subconsciously held Yemo tighter. She knew that the two had gone into the void, and it was as though she could only find a sense of existence as she stuck closer to Yemo. Yemo released Blue Moon and proceeded slowly. At the beginning there were many immortals, but the void was too big and Yemo only flew for 5 minutes before he couldn't see any more immortals. Some asteroids flew past them, but Yemo dodged them in time. As Blue Moon went further and further from the ship, there were more and more asteroids and even asteroid clusters. There would be the occasional space storm, but Yemo avoided them. A month later Yemo stopped. Even if he was to capture the void flying snow, he couldn't go too far. "You're not going to collect some asteroids to sell?" Jinbingyu looked and reminded Yemo. Just when Yemo wanted to speak, he saw dense clusters of asteroids howling past, and instantly locked the space ahead of them. There was no time to retreat as Blue Moon wasn't as fast as them. Before Jinbingyu asked what to do, Yemo released his octagonal cauldron and smashed out with the world rock while putting away Blue Moon. Jinbingyu was confused. They weren't fighting, so why did Yemo use that waiting stone? Rumble the black rock smashed a path out in the asteroid clusters. All the asteroids that touched the world rock was smashed apart. Even Jinbingyu was shaking upon seeing this. Even great unity immortals would at most have such power. She believed that if Yemo fought with that fatty at the corner soul domain, that great unity immortal would have been no match for Yemo's waiting stone. She believed that if Yemo fought with that fatty at the corner soul domain, that great unity immortal would have been no match for Yemo's waiting stone. After paving a path, Yemo charged through it. The rubble smashed on the octagonal cauldron, making dense smashing sounds, and although an occasional fuse struck Yemo, he didn't feel much. Just when Yemo was about to pass through this asteroid cluster, he saw a white flashing light fly past rapidly in the asteroid clusters. It was many times faster than the asteroids and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Void flying snow? Yemo saw the white flash and immediately felt it was void flying snow. Not only was it shaped very similar, but its chi was also very similar. Seeing this void flying snow, Yemo wasn't very happy. his heart sunk instead. The void flying snow was this rapid, countless times faster than the corner soulweed. How could he catch it? There were so many corner soulweed in the sea corner, so he didn't have to worry about finding them. But now the flying snow was extremely rare and this fast. So what if he saw it? How could he catch it? You saw the void flying snow? Jinbingyu asked on Yemo's back. Yemo said heavily. Yes, I saw it, but unfortunately with my current ability I probably won't be able to catch such a thing. But don't worry, I'll think of a way. Yemo didn't lie. He believed he could find a way, it was just a matter of time. Jinbingyu's heart shook a little and she said after a while. Never mind then. Then she said after thinking for a while. If one day you can meet my master, tell her. Before Jinbingyu finished, she said. Never mind. Yemo could understand her feelings. It was best not to talk to her at this moment nor explain anything to her. Silence fell amongst the two. The asteroid cluster was gone, and Yemo put away the octagonal cauldron. He sped up Blue Moon wanting to find another asteroid cluster. Marshal Brother Yi. A day later, Jinbingyu broke the silence. I think I understand why Nianmei likes you. You don't understand. Yemo said plainly. Nianmei didn't like him, but he didn't need to explain to her. He felt Jinbingyu had become more talkative recently. Ever since she was checked by the holy nun, Jinbingyu felt she couldn't calm down and cultivate like before. If she couldn't cultivate, she thought about a lot of things. Many of the times she wanted to chat with Yemo, but he was always either cultivating, concocting pills or studying formation. Every time Yemo left the pill tower she felt worried as though she was losing something. Every time Yemo came back, she felt calm again. Sometimes she felt that her Tao heart was being lost bit by bit ever since she stopped her cultivation method. She was very worried, but even if she cultivated she could only cultivate the body refinement cultivation method Yemo taught her. She had never had such a feeling. In her worry, she realized why. It was because she couldn't cultivate. Sometimes, she thought, were those mortal cultivators also like this? Another half a month had passed. Yemo had seen many asteroid clusters but not a single void flying snow again. Today, Yemo stopped Blue Moon again. He sat before Blue Moon contemplating while extending his spirit sense out. He knew that the void flying snow was different than the corner soul weed. He had many corner soul weeds to trial and experiment with in the sea corner, but here he didn't have such an opportunity. That void flying snow might be the only one he would see and hear. Jinbingyu felt Yemo extend his spirit sense out. She knew what Yemo thought and felt very grateful. At this moment she sighed a little and didn't disturb Yemo anymore, as she proceeded with thinking the things she never would have thought about before. Yemo used spirit sense cultivation method to capture the corner soul weed at the sea corner. Here he could only use it as well to capture the void flying snow. As Yemo extended his spirit sense out and tested on the small asteroids flying by, using spirit sense sever, spirit sense barricade, and even spirit sense domain, but it was of no use on those asteroids. Yemo knew the asteroids were different than the void flying snow, so it might still be useful for the void flying snow. His purple eye soul sever was at level 5 now. He could form a commandable spirit sense blade in his spirit sense domain. The void flying snow was too fast. Even if his spirit sense scanned it, there wasn't enough time to stop it with spirit sense. With his current spirit sense power, the only way was to set up a spirit sense domain before the void flying snow came, and once the void flying snow flew over he would stop it immediately with the spirit sense domain. Yemo didn't know if spirit sense domains were useful against void flying snow, but the main thing was they were very taxing on their spirit sense. If used for long periods of time, he wouldn't know what would happen. Yemo tried to expand his spirit sense domain, but the depletion of his spirit sense made him feel he couldn't take it. He ate a dual spirit pill and remembered Gu Zhouhe who he met at the sea corner. He used a net-shaped magic artifact to capture corner soul weed. Instead of using a spirit sense domain, he might as well use a spirit sense net. That was much less taxing on spirit sense, and it was more targeted. It could close quickly as soon as he noticed the void flying snow flying over. Days passed and Jin Bingyu could clearly feel Yemo's spirit sense getting weary. She was worried that if Yemo used spirit sense this much, his sea of consciousness would suddenly cripple one day. However, Yemo found in surprise and joy that if he used spirit sense like this in the void and then used dual spirit pills, his spirit sense would improve many times than when he cultivated it. The void was suitable for spirit sense cultivation? In just a few days, Yemo felt his spirit sense go beyond that of a great unity immortal primary stage. As his spirit sense grew stronger, Yemo started to expand his spirit sense range. Then, another white flash like the one he saw before appear in his spirit sense. When Yemo scanned this white ray, it was 100 kilometers away, and when Yemo reacted, the white light had charged into his spirit sense net. It shivered a little and instantly broke his spirit sense net. Yemo excitedly put away Blue Moon. When the white ray broke Yemo's spirit sense net, it slowed a little, and that was enough for Yemo to reach out with a second spirit sense net. The white light finally slowed for the second time. This time, Yemo saw it clearly. It was a snow flower-shaped void flying snow. The second slow only lasted half a second, and it broke Yemo's spirit sense net again. But Yemo breathed easy. He knew this void flying snow wasn't going to get away. Yemo wanted to charge over, but suddenly a few asteroids came flying at Yemo. Yemo felt very strange. They happened to come here too coincidentally. But he couldn't move aside. He didn't even have the time to release his magic artifact. He would lose this void flying snow if it recovered its original speed. Thud thud, thud thud, 2 heavy strikes landed on Yemo's chest, and Yemo spat a mouthful of blood. Even his immortal nirvana body couldn't take a blow from the asteroids. If he hadn't reached immortal nirvana body, he would have been smashed to pieces already. But Yemo didn't pay the price for nothing. His hand grabbed the fleeing void flying snow. A sense of coolness rose up to Yemo's head, making his heart feel serene. This is the void flying snow? Yemo looked at the void flying snow with a sliver of blood. He was a bit excited. It was said that even great eternity immortals found it hard to catch these things, but he actually caught one. He paid a price, but to Yemo it was worth it. The void flying snow was shaped like a snow flower. It had a cool sensation, making people feel peace and comfortable. Jin Bingyu looked at the blood-covered void flying snow but didn't feel happy. She felt worried. She began to fear that she would owe Yemo too much. She even feared that one day she didn't persuade Yemo to cultivate her Tao heart, but instead she would accept Yemo's emotional Tao. The more she was dependent on Yemo, the more she didn't want this martial brother to go take risks or see him heavily injured. Was this the premonition of her liking him? She had never liked anyone before and didn't know if this was it. Yemo immediately felt Jin Bingyu shiver on his back. Just when he didn't want to say to not worry about the void flying snow, he heard a shocked voice. Void flying snow? A figure landed extremely quickly before Yemo, then this figure said with even more excitement. It really is void flying snow. Yemo saw who this person was. It was that great unity immortal manager of the lower deck. Seeing the fire in his eyes, Yemo knew this guy wanted his void flying snow. Yemo put the void flying snow in a jade box, put it in his storage ring, and ate a dual spirit pill before looking at this great unity immortal primary stage manager. He seemed to be heavily injured. What Yemo didn't understand was why this great unity immortal manager came to the realm domain void. Did he not have enough immortal crystals? It's you? I guess you weren't ordinary, and now it seems so indeed. You can even catch void flying snow, the great unity immortal said in shock and confusion. An abstruse immortal primary stage carrying a heavily injured woman could catch void flying snow. There definitely was a huge secret on him. He thought that Yemo would be coming down from the middle deck soon, but he never came back down again. He asked the other people who got in with Yemo, but no one knew who Yemo was. He was certain they didn't lie to him because he had pretty much taken all of their immortal crystals. He wants you to give the void flying snow. We'll give it to him and go back, Jin Bingyu whispered in Yemo's ear. Jin Bingyu knew how hard it was for Yemo to get this void flying snow. He waited a few days using spirit sense and finally got it after being injured. But faced against the great Unity Immortal, Emo probably was no match for him. This place didn't limit immortal essence. There were very small limits on spirit sense, but it didn't affect great Unity Immortal Masters. Emo said calmly, "You're wrong, he won't ask me to hand over the void flying snow. He suspects there are secrets on me, so he wants our lives." The great Unity Immortal heard this and smiled. "That's right, you're smart. No wonder you can stay at the middle deck. But I've tortured your friends at the lower deck enough. In about 1 or 2 months they will be going to the refinery." Then the great Unity Immortal released his power. A powerful killing intent loomed over Emo. A huge hand reached out from the void and slowly patted against Emo. "I know you're strong. You can kill abstruse immortal tertiary stage. If you were at my power level, perhaps even I wouldn't be a match for you. But today you can stay here." Then his hand grew even bigger, and Emo couldn't feel the flow of time under this palm. What cultivation method was this? Emo was shook and hacked out with Zisu, Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. The purple sword beam was a vibrant ray of purple in the void and hacked towards the great Unity Immortal palm. Rumble mountains and rivers birthed from this great Unity Immortal's palm. The palm turned into a lively world. At this moment, Emo even felt the calling of this world, as though wanting him to go into this world and stay quiet. "Marshall brother, let's go in. It's so beautiful there. I want to go in and rest," Jinbingyu murmured. Emo shivered and instantly woke up by using the 3-birth chant. This was an illusion, he definitely couldn't go in. His spirit sense blade severed the intense desire to go in and hacked onto the mountains and rivers without stopping. However, Zisu was blocked by all the things in the world. Zisu hummed and Emo received a backlash from this strike. He spat a mouthful of blood and flew out. But at this moment, Emo saw that the palm was the illusion, while the painting of the world was real. It easily blocked Emo's strike and shocked him instead. The great Unity Immortal was greatly astonished seeing that Emo wasn't mesmerized by his small world painting and instead hacked out with his magic artifact. An ordinary abstruse immortal wouldn't be able to resist at all under it, and would be sucked in. Then he would slowly deal with him. Such a powerful magic artifact, Emo ate another dual spirit pill and condensed his spirit sense and immortal essence. This painting was very extraordinary. He knew his world rock only had one chance to succeed. If this opponent knew the power of his world rock, he would be wary. Moments later, Emo decided to ignore the painting and focus on this great Unity Immortal. "Go in!" The great Unity Immortal roared as he inserted his immortal essence and spirit sense into the painting like crazy. The painting rose drastically, turning from a small village to a town with lots of people in it. Fancy restaurants, brothels, immortal feasts. There was a small bridge over a stream, an ancient road, and the setting sun. A scene of extreme beauty showed before his eyes. It was as though if he walked in, he would be able to experience that beauty. Emo sneered. He didn't fall for it the first time, so how could he fall for it now? Seeing the confusion in Emo's eyes and how Emo even put away his magic artifact, the great Unity Immortal sneered. "A mere abstruse immortal primary stage could last so long. That's quite hard for you. I want to see how many secrets you have. Hurry up and go in!" The great Unity Immortal roared and the painting opened up completely. Emo walked towards the painting, but his footsteps weren't fast. They were even a little slow. The great Unity Immortal frowned. He rarely saw people who wanted so slowly while being enchanted by his painting. Just when he wanted to use more power to make Emo go in faster, a black asteroid suddenly appeared. It seemed to be getting bigger and bigger, but also seemed as though it was only getting bigger because it was getting closer. The great Unity Immortal frowned and wanted to slice apart that rock, but he found it turned a corner, as though forced away by his power. The great Unity Immortal nodded. It seemed his power rose again. But before he could focus his attention on the painting, that asteroid smashed back like lightning and was instantly before him. Not good. Even an idiot would realize that there was something wrong with this huge black asteroid now, much less this great Unity Immortal. Not good. Even an idiot would realize that there was something wrong with this huge black asteroid now, much less this great Unity Immortal. Even though he was ambushed, the great Unity Immortal wasn't too worried. The magic artifact of a mere abstruse immortal primary stage couldn't do much to him. Rumble as soon as he released his shield, the black asteroid smashed against it. Crack, a terrifying power came, but this definitely wasn't the power of an abstruse immortal primary stage, it seemed to be the power of nature. The force didn't slow or weaken due to hitting the shield, instead exploding with even more terrifying power. The partially activated shield was instantly smashed to pieces. Before the great Unity Immortal could see clearly what the black rock was, it smashed into his chest. Crack, the great Unity Immortal clearly heard the cracking of the bones in his body. Multiple purple blood arrows shot out, and were devoured by the endless void. The great Unity Immortal realized he completely underestimated Yi Mo's battle power. He didn't kill an abstruse immortal tertiary stage by luck, he was completely an absurd abstruse immortal that was no weaker than him. What terrified him was Yi Mo's weighing stone magic artifact. He had never seen such a magic artifact. He had seen many small mountain magic artifacts, but none absurd as this black rock. Its weight was like a boundless mountain, but that power didn't seep out at all, and was all focused on him. If he didn't think of a way to run, this would be where he would die today. The great Unity Immortal's spirit sense swept out and completely surrounded him. He was going to run away by burning his sea of consciousness. He didn't even care about his painting treasure. "Can you get away?" Emo sneered. Shadowless darted out from the side. He smashed out with the world rock again while expanding his spirit sense net to trap this great Unity Immortal. "You dare to kill me? I'm the Immortal Ship Manager. If you kill me, your essence spirit will be burned." Seeing this spirit sense net and Shadowless come at the same time, he knew Emo had too many lethal blows. The fighting power he showed on the stage was only the tip of the iceberg. He suspected that Emo was hiding his true strength, and this was indeed the case. When the rock smashed down again, he knew there was no point in resisting. Even if there wasn't this world rock, he might not be able to beat this absurd abstruse immortal primary stage. "I don't dare to kill you!" Emo's words made him rest easy a bit, and just when he was about to make promises, the world rock kept coming and smashed on his head. "No way!" Endless darkness befell him. His body was squeezed into a meat pie and his essence spirit fell into Shadowless' mouth. There was no use in regret, but he could only regret now. He regretted not setting up a plan to kill Emo. Emo breathed easy and instantly took the storage ring of this great Unity Immortal and that floating painting. Jinbingyu only came back to her senses after Emo took the painting away. She immediately realized what had just happened and blushed, feeling a little awkward. With her Tao heart she wouldn't lose her mind so quickly, but she had lost her immortal essence and was thinking about things before. If her mind wasn't drifting, she wouldn't lose her mind that quickly. "Let's quickly go." Emo packed up things and changed directions. "Didn't you just kill that manager?" Jinbingyu asked while admiring Emo extremely. Emo was an abstruse immortal primary stage, but he could kill a great Unity Immortal. This was just purely insane. At least she had never heard of anyone who was able to kill great Unity Immortals at abstruse immortal primary stage. "That manager came over heavily injured. His injuries weren't from fighting, they were probably due to a void storm or something more powerful. That manager attacked us immediately, wanting to kill us quickly. Clearly there are other people." Emo spoke while Blue Moon sped up. Jinbingyu immediately understood and said, "You're saying his friend might come over?" "Not might, definitely will. The manager has some status and would definitely be able to contact his friend, but I'm too weak. Otherwise, if I kill them both I can get rich," Emo said helplessly. Just when Jinbingyu wanted to ask if there would be a problem with the storage ring, she saw an overwhelming whirlpool of asteroids arrive. That terrifying storm was enough to devour the entire void. Space collapsed before it even arrived. She was dazed. What person could stop such a terrifying whirlpool? Even immortal kings would be dead if they charged in. "It's an asteroid storm whirlpool," Jin Bingyu heard these 4 words and immediately felt Yemo pat her back. Then, she fell unconscious. When the whirlpool was before Yemo, he just put away Blue Moon. The terrifying suction power of the whirlpool was so powerful that not even immortal kings might be able to get away, much less these 2. He put away Blue Moon and went into the Golden Page world. The 5 elements of the Golden Page world weren't complete, so he wouldn't be able to bring Jin Bingyu in for more than 5 seconds. Yemo could only hope that after these 5 seconds the storm would have passed. He knew that they came fast and left even faster. If the storm wasn't gone after 5 seconds, he would go in the Golden Page world again. Indeed, he only lasted a few seconds with Jin Bingyu inside before he was pushed out again. Thud Yemo just flew out, and was struck by the remnant whirlpool that just passed. Yemo breathed easy and cursed himself for being naive. Facing such a terrifying asteroid whirlpool, he wouldn't have the chance of going in the Golden Page world after coming out. Luckily the 5 seconds saved him this time. Yemo spun like a twirl in the void. Just when Yemo was getting dizzy, the power finally slowed down. Yemo forcefully controlled himself and ate a pill before patting Jin Bingyu awake. "We're dead?" Jin Bingyu said immediately, and realized she asked the wrong question. They were still in the void. "How did you escape?" Jin Bingyu asked shakily. Yemo said, "By luck. We'll stay here and catch the void flying snow. I checked, the void location disk can still find the immortal ship. If it wasn't for Yu Liansang, we would be lost by now." Jin Bingyu nodded and said nothing. Yemo treated her well, but that was because it was who he was. In the depths of his heart, he was still wary of her. But she didn't feel uncomfortable, she felt what Yemo did was right. There was no relationship between them. Jin Bingyu agreed. Yemo released Blue Moon and immediately took out that Great Unity Immortal storage ring. The Great Unity Immortal had been collecting so many immortal crystals at the lower deck. Even if he had to hand some over, he would definitely have a lot on him. Even though Yemo knew the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring would have a lot of immortal crystals, he was still shocked once he saw the amount. Even though Yemo knew the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring would have a lot of immortal crystals, he was still shocked once he saw the amount. The immortal crystals were stacked up like mountains inside. There were also large amounts of immortal spirit herbs and forgery materials. He finally became wealthy now, Yemo breathed easy. There were at least 50 million immortal crystals in here, and there were also immortal crystals cards. They were like bank cards but for storing immortal crystals. But these immortal crystal storages were all at the top deck. Yemo didn't dare to go there. He didn't know if these cards had identity attached to them, but even if they didn't, he didn't dare to go take the crystals. If he suddenly took so many immortal crystals, even an idiot would suspect him. After putting a part of the immortal crystals in his storage ring, Yemo tipped the rest of the things in the Golden Page world. "I'm scared there will be marks on the storage ring, it's best to throw it away," Jin Bingyu reminded. "It's fine." Yemo waved his hand. If someone could scan into his Golden Page world with spirit sense, he would have been long dead. Seeing Yemo so confident, Jin Bingyu didn't fuss over the matter. She saw Yemo take out that painting again and frowned. "What painting is this? It's so powerful!" Yemo looked at it and shook his head. "It's not a simple thing, but it's not the original. It's probably a copy. I don't have time to look at it now." Then, Yemo threw the painting into the Golden Page world. In the next 2 months, Yemo and Jin Bingyu stayed here capturing void flying snow. Yemo had encountered void flying snow 3 times, but he only caught 1. Even though he was more proficient with his spirit sense net, he couldn't capture them all. The void flying snow didn't all fly at the same speed, some were slower but some were simply too fast. When half a year's time was about to be up, Yemo brought Jin Bingyu back to the ship quietly. He earned quite a bit during this half year. Not only did he get 2 void flying snow, but he also got large sums of immortal crystals. Yemo lacked a few immortal spirit herbs for concocting flying snow pills, but the Great Unity Immortal Manager's storage ring solved this problem for him. When Yemo and Jinbingyu went back to their pill tower, they didn't open up immediately. Yemo kept concocting pills. He had a lot of immortal crystals and wasn't in a rush to do business. Kai didn't lie indeed. In less than 2 weeks Jinbingyu felt different. She knew that after eating the flying snow pill, her spirit roots stopped dissolving. As long as she found the clear mind lotus, she would be able to recover. A month later, the immortal ship shut the restriction for flying out and set off again. Yemo's pill tower opened business as well. The first to come was Yu Liansong. Yu Liansong immediately saluted with his fists. Great Master Yi, congratulations on making it back safely. Nearly 1,000 people didn't come back this time. Yemo was shook. So many immortals died with one stop, this was too shocking. But Yemo tried the danger in the void. If he didn't have the golden page world, he wouldn't be able to come back this time. As soon as I went out I knew that I couldn't stay in there for long with my power, so I came back quickly. Yemo quickly said. Yu Liansong nodded. It's good to be back. You don't even need to go to the domain realm void with your capabilities. Yu Liansong chatted with Yemo for a while and then spoke about some of the things that happened during this stop and then asked Yemo to help concoct a cauldron of pills before leaving. After he left, Jinbingyu asked in shock. So many died with one stop. If the ship stops a few more times, then how many more will die? This isn't a good place, Yemo said heavily. Yemo felt this ship didn't take the lives of the immortals on board seriously at all. The only creed of this ship was collecting immortal crystals. Luckily the ship has some principle and doesn't rob immortal crystals from immortals. If we have enough immortal crystals we can last, Yemo comforted. Who do you think Pingondang and them are? They seem to be very wealthy. How do they have so many immortal crystals? Jinbingyu was very confused. Yemo waved his hand. Martial Sister Bingyu, we shouldn't discuss about them anymore. I'm certain they're not ordinary, but not matter what their plans are, it has nothing to do with us. Before Yemo finished he stopped talking, as moments later, Pingondang appeared before his shop. Great Master Yi. As soon as Pingondang came to the door, he saluted with his fists and greeted. Ever since Yemo rejected Han Changzhen's offer he changed from Brother Yi to Great Master Yi. Brother Ping, please sit. Yemo quickly got up. There was a sliver of guilt in Pingondang's eyes. Great Master Yi, I said I was going to help you introduce some business from the top deck, but people don't really trust me. I'm very sorry, if you owe immortal crystals I can... Yemo quickly waved his hand. No need, thank you Brother Ping. Business isn't so good here but I can manage to survive. After hesitating for a while, Pingondang suddenly gave a firm look. Brother Yi, if one day you're really in trouble, come find me at the top deck. Even if I lose face I will help you. Yemo laughed. Thank you very much Brother Ping, perhaps I will soon be coming to find you. At the same time, Yemo sneered on the inside, this Pingondang was speaking nonsense. If he really wanted to help him, it would be all too easy. Yemo didn't believe his words. If he couldn't find people to come to his pill tower, he wouldn't say those words. The main reason he came today was probably because he knew he went to the realm domain void to see if he was willing to join them. This only meant one thing, they really needed a level 4 immortal pill great master like him. Yemo didn't want to know what they were doing nor join them. Just when it was awkward between the two, 3 abstruse immortals rushed in. Seeing Yemo get up immediately, Pingondang said goodbye. He knew from Yemo's face that he knew the 3. Brother Lan Xiang, Martial Sister Tan. Yemo immediately knew why they came. Just looking at them, they were probably about to go to the refinery. Brother Yi, we didn't expect that we wouldn't be able to last even a year, sigh. Lan Dishing saw Yemo had his own pill tower and sighed. The weakest among them was Yemo and he had a burden with him, yet he was doing the best. Yemo knew from the Great Unity Immortal that the 3 were in this state partly due to him. Brother Yi, if the Great Unity Immortal Manager didn't die at the void we wouldn't even be able to come find you. We had nearly 10 million immortal crystals altogether but they were all taken by that Great Unity Immortal, Xiang Chuling said. In Donghua heaven he was an abstruse immortal and had some status, but on this ship he was nothing. Seeing Lan Dishing about to say something, Emo waved his hand. We all come from the same place. I'll lend some immortal crystals to you guys. When I have the capability, it will be easy for you all to come to the middle deck. Thank you, Brother Yi, Lan Dishing and them quickly said. Immortal crystals were too precious on the ship. They would be hugely grateful if Emo could lend them 100,000 immortal crystals. Emo took out 3 storage rings. I'll take out 15 million immortal crystals first, 5 million each. The 3 glanced at each other. They just wanted to borrow some immortal crystals from Emo, but they didn't even ask yet, and Emo gave them this much. The 3 glanced at each other. They just wanted to borrow some immortal crystals from Emo, but they didn't even ask yet, and Emo gave them this much. This, Brother Yi, this is too much, Lan Dishing quickly said. Emo waved his hand with a smile. It's not much, I still have something I want you guys to help me with. Of course, it's up to you. Just say it, Brother Yi. As long as it's something I can do, I definitely won't object. Lan Dishing quickly said. The other 2 also said the same. Thank you. Emo saluted with his fists and said, Since my magic artifact is too low grade, I need some top-grade forgery materials. If anyone in the lower deck is selling these top-grade materials, please keep an eye out for me. There were so many immortals in the lower deck, there was bound to be someone to have good things. But they just hide it very well. If they didn't have immortal crystals, they would sell the best things they had, and he needed such materials. As his power level kept increasing, Zisu couldn't keep up anymore. He needed to find top-grade materials to upgrade Zisu, and at least make sure it could keep up with his world rock. No problem, don't worry, Brother Yi. I will definitely look out for it. But what requirements do you have for the materials? Lan Dishing said gratefully. The higher level they are, the better. The best would be if they're beyond level 4 immortal material, Emo replied. Brother Lan, Emo opened a pill tower here. He's at least a level 3 immortal pill master, right? Tan Xiaolian asked. No, I think Brother Yi is a level 4 immortal pill great master. Did you not see his sign? He can concoct level 4 and below immortal pills, Lan Dishing said and sighed. Any level 4 immortal pill great master would be very honored in Donghua heaven, but in this middle deck marketplace, there are quite a few of them. Brother Yi doesn't have it easy here. He probably used the immortal crystals he saved up before to help us. I must help him find the high-level materials he needs. Me too, Tan Xiaolian and Xiang Qilin said without hesitation. After the 3 left, the pill tower returned to being calm. Other than Yu Liansong, who came over to chat with Emo a few times, Peng Ganeng never appeared again. Besides paying the exorbitant rent, he still had some extra immortal crystals left each month. Although there were always immortals asking Emo to concoct level 5 immortal pills, Emo rejected them all. After Jinbingyu's spirit roots stopped dissolving, she started cultivating again, and thus didn't think too much. But Emo could only study formations each day. He didn't dare to go into the Golden Page world and thus could only do this in this boring environment. Time flew by quickly. Another year passed like this. During this time Lan Dishing came to Emo twice and brought him a level 4 immortal material extreme firewood and a level 5 immortal material wind lightning metal. But neither of them helped Emo much. The things needed for Zisu's upgrade were very specific. If they weren't up to par, Emo would rather not upgrade Zisu. Today, Emo was studying level 3 immortal formations when Peng Ganeng appeared in the pill tower again. Unlike before, he seemed very troubled. Brother Peng. Emo was as hospitable as ever. But Peng Ganeng didn't even sit down and looked at Emo for a while before saluting with his fists. Brother Yi, the immortal ship is going to stop in the void for half a year again. I'm going to the void. Just when Emo thought Peng Ganeng was going to invite him to go, Peng Ganeng stared at Emo seriously and said, Brother Yi, I know your future will be limitless. You helped me and I wanted to help you some, but instead I brought trouble to you. It's a pity this isn't a heaven domain, there's not much I can do. Emo frowned and said, Brother Peng, just be straightforward. To be able to stay here, you helped me quite a lot. In that case I will. Then Pingonang grabbed at his eye and pulled it out. Yemo was shocked but didn't stop him. Pingonang dug out the eye that was damaged. From it, Pingonang dug out an extremely bright gemstone. Then, he ate a pill, and with the use of immortal essence, his eye quickly recovered. My eye can be cured, but I don't want to cure it. That's because I damaged it myself. The reason is this. Pingonang pointed at the peanut-sized gemstone as he spoke. Yemo stared at the gemstone and asked in confusion. What is this? Pingonang asked. Brother Yi, you're an immortal pill great master, but do you know what the extreme of cultivation at the immortal realm is? Isn't it immortal emperor? Yemo said. Pingonang shook his head. No, immortal emperor isn't the extreme. After immortal emperor, Tao vindication is the extreme. Only immortals who have vindicated Tao are at the true pinnacle of the immortal realm. Since ancient times, there were many immortal emperors and many talented ones. Over the countless years, there was never a lack of prodigies, but it's extremely hard to hear about Tao vindicators. Do you know why? Yemo shook his head. I don't, please tell me, Brother Ping. Pingonang said seriously. Because the world is incomplete. If an immortal emperor wants to vindicate Tao, he needs a primordial chaos seed. These seeds are born with the universe. There many only be at most 9 Tao Vindicator immortal emperors. Each Tao Vindicator's power dominates the universe. He can destroy the entire 33 heavens with a flip of his hand. So, to all immortals, primordial chaos seeds are the most precious thing. When a Tao Vindicator immortal emperor dies, the primordial chaos seed won't disappear. It hides itself in the universe waiting for the fated person. This was the first time Yemo heard this. He was certain most immortals didn't even know about this. He didn't know why Pingonang told him this. Was that peanut-sized thing a primordial chaos seed? Seeing Yemo's surprised look, Pingonang set up a few restrictions and said heavily, You guessed it, inside this small gemstone is a primordial chaos seed, but the gemstone has to be opened. It can't be opened now though, or the chaos chi would spill and no one would be able to save us. He then looked at Yemo and saw Yemo just had a frown but wasn't lured by the seed. He immediately had an approving look. He thought rightly of Yemo indeed. This abstruse immortal primary stage was no ordinary person. Now I will give you this primordial chaos seed, Pingonang said. Yemo didn't even reach out his hand to take it. He never believed money would fall from the sky and land on his head. Pingonang smiled bitterly. Brother Yi, do you know how many people in the 33 heavens would want to fight over it if word gets out? Yemo said calmly. I don't know, but I know that if it really is a primordial chaos seed, something that can let immortal emperor vindicate Tao, it won't be mine to use. Plus, this seed is yours. Pingonang knew Yemo's suspicion and sighed. You must be thinking why I don't keep it for myself or give it to Han Changjin or Holy Nun, right? Perhaps you're even doubting how I even got this. Yemo said nothing, but he was indeed thinking about these two things. It's because I'm the descendant of the ancient Grand Emperor Pingsu. The reason I'm leaving this seed to you is because I have no other choice. I'm certain I won't be coming back after I go out this time. And I know that afterwards, Han Changjin will come looking for you. If you don't dare to accept it, then pretend I said nothing. There was a sad look in Pingonang's eyes. Then he stared at Yemo. If you're willing to trust me and willing to accept it, then you must agree to 2 of my conditions. Finally, a sliver of fire appeared in Yemo's eyes as his eyes glued to the peanut-shaped gemstone. Finally, a sliver of fire appeared in Yemo's eyes as his eyes glued to the peanut-shaped gemstone. Pingonang acted as though he didn't see the light in Yemo's eyes and said calmly, The first condition is that one day if you can vindicate Tao, please check for me who harmed Pingshu Grand Emperor. If possible, please get revenge for him. Seeing Yemo still stare at his primordial chaos seed, Pingonang continued. The second condition. Pingonang shook his head. Never mind the second condition. As long as you can get revenge for Grand Emperor Pingshu, Even if I can't reincarnate, I'd be willing. Yemo sighed and moved his gaze away from the Tao Vindication Seed and asked Pingandang. Brother Pun, this thing is so precious, I'm afraid, Brother Yi, you know I have no place to go now. I can't tell you the reason as it involves the young master. I should have told you about Han Changjin, but I swore to never betray young master. If it wasn't that I know I probably won't be coming back after this, I wouldn't be able to make this decision. I believe young master Changjin knows I have a rare treasure on me, but he just doesn't know it's a primordial chaos seed. There was more sadness in Pingandang's eyes. All my close friends on this ship belong to young master Changjin, but I look favorably at you. You can kill abstruse immortal tertiary stage as abstruse immortal primary stage, and your pill concoction skills are definitely beyond level for immortal pill great master. Plus you must be very young, so I believe you can definitely vindicate Tao. Yemo immediately realized that Pingandang investigated him, but he didn't mind. With Pingandang's capabilities and power, it would be strange if he didn't investigate him. Seeing Pingandang wait for his answer, Yemo nodded and took out a jade box and opened it in his hands and placed it in front of Pingandang. There was more fire in his eyes. Brother Ping, such worldly treasure, and you're willing to give it to me. I definitely won't go back on your wishes. Don't worry, Brother Ping, if I can vindicate Tao I will definitely investigate it clearly. There was approval in Pingandang's eyes again. I know you're a responsible person. This seed is yours. I believe you can vindicate Tao successfully and investigate what happened to Emperor Peng. Then Pingandang carefully placed the seed into the jade box in Yemo's hands. Then he said, I'm going to the void, take care. Pingandang walked to the door and turned back. Young Master Changjin's father was once a heaven lord. He has big things to do here. Just be careful with him and his people. Then, Pingandang hurried and left the pill tower. Yemo closed the jade box, but his face wasn't good. The fire in his eyes disappeared cleanly. I heard it all. Is there really primordial chaos Tao vindication seed? Jinbingyu asked in confusion. Yemo didn't answer and just closed the doors and set up restrictions before taking Jinbingyu back to the room. If I'm not wrong, the Tao vindication seeds probably exist. Hearing this, Jinbingyu looked a little envious and sighed. This person is too honest, he's even willing to take out such a seed. Do you really believe it? Yemo placed a few more restrictions on the jade box, and then took out an even bigger jade box. Seeing this, Jinbingyu asked in shock, Do you suspect his words are fake? But when he spoke I saw it too, how could it be fake? Even his approval of you is genuine. Yemo waved his hand. Martial sister Bingyu, we're rather good friends, right? Of course. Jinbingyu nodded. I don't have friends, but if I must name one it's you. Okay. Yemo continued. If you have a Tao vindication seed and you're going to do something extremely dangerous with a 90% chance you will die, would you give the Tao vindication seed to me? Yes, Jinbingyu said without hesitation. Yemo rubbed his hair helplessly. Okay, I'll put it another way. If it wasn't me, but someone you know, for example, Nianmei or Hai Chuanwu, would you give the seed to him? No, Jinbingyu said without hesitation. Yemo clapped his hands. That's right, if it's really a seed for Tao vindication, it's immeasurably precious. How can Pingandang give it to me so easily? Plus, he hasn't even died yet. Huh? Jinbingyu looked at the jade box and asked. You're saying? Yemo nodded seriously. If I guess right, there's definitely a problem with this seed. Our relationship isn't that good yet. I don't know the things between him and Han Changjin, but they're definitely not simple. When he came to ask for pill concoction, the desperation came from the bottom of his heart. But I saw that his approving tone of you was genuine. Jinbingyu said and then seemed to have thought of something. Do you think that Pingandang already found out I was listening and watching at the stairs and put on a show for me? Yemo said proudly. He's not that powerful yet. I've changed the formation of this small tower. People can only look down, not up. He doesn't know that you saw this. If he's acting, then he would only be acting to fool me. Then what is this? Jinbingyu looked at the jade box with concern. Yemo shook his head. I don't know, but I guess it's probably not some Tao vindication seed. Even if it's the real thing, it won't be for my Tao vindication. Which cultivator would give up this fortune if he isn't dead yet? You're afraid of possession, so you didn't take it with your hands and used the jade box instead? Jinbingyu asked. That's right, Yemo said. Yemo didn't even want to risk taking the seed into his golden page world. What if there was really a powerful being inside the seed? What would he do? Perhaps after possessing him, he would take his golden page world. With his pill concoction abilities, who knew if this seed was for searching his secrets? Then what do we do? Should we throw this away? Jinbingyu looked worried. Yemo set up 10 more restrictions on the jade box, and then took out a storage ring and placed it inside. I don't have a choice now, I can't throw it away. Even if I do, it has to be in the void, and if we do, we won't be able to come back to the ship. Then we can stay in the void, Jinbingyu blurted out. She felt that even if Yemo stayed in the void he might not die. But then she realized that it was impractical. Yemo would be able to protect them for a year or two, but a person's immortal essence and spirit sense were limited. What she didn't expect was that Yemo nodded and said, Perhaps your idea is good. We can only stay in the void. These bastards, I helped them and yet they came to scheme against me. Jinbingyu looked helplessly at Yemo. There's no point getting angry here. If we really don't have a place to go, we can go the void. Jinbingyu looked helplessly at Yemo. There's no point getting angry here. If we really don't have a place to go, we can go the void. Just when Yemo wanted to talk, he felt the restriction on his door activate. It's Han Changjin, Jinbingyu said. I'll go open the restriction. Yemo quickly opened the restriction and came down, seeing Han Changjin standing worriedly at the door. Brother Han, quickly come in. Yemo looked happy and surprised. Han Changjin clearly didn't have the mood to go in and said, Great Master Yi, sorry for interrupting your solitary cultivation. Did Martial Brother Peng come here? Martial Brother Peng Ganeng? Yemo repeated and immediately said, He came once saying he was going to the void and wanted to bid farewell. There was surprise and joy in Han Changjin's eyes. Did he leave something or say something? Yemo shook his head. No, Brother Peng said if I don't have enough immortal crystals I can borrow some from Brother Han. Of course, you can borrow however many immortal crystals you want from me. I don't have much, but I have some immortal crystals. You're friends with Brother Peng and you saved my life. A few immortal crystals are worth nothing. I can finally breathe easy now. I thought Brother Peng had some misunderstanding towards me and left a message here and left. Haha, it seems I've thought too much, Han Changjin said without hesitation. He knew Yemo wouldn't actually borrow immortal crystals from him. Yemo also looked happy. I really don't have enough immortal crystals, thank you Brother Han. Han Changjin was dazed. Yemo rejected going to the top deck just because he didn't want to owe him, so now why did he ask for a few immortal crystals? Yemo said again. I want to go buy some immortal spirit herb at the top deck. I thought I could save some here, but it's been so long, and I can just barely stay here. At this moment Han Changjin's communication bead suddenly vibrated. He looked at it and frowned. Then he took out an immortal crystal card and gave it to Yemo. Use the immortal crystals in here. You can give it back to me if you don't use them all. If it's not enough, then come to me again. I need to go now. Then he stuffed the card in Yemo's hands and quickly left. Yemo compared it to the other 2 immortal crystals card he had in his pocket, and compared the 3. They were all the same, unnamed. Why did you ask for his immortal crystals card? Jinbingyu asked in confusion. Yemo said, We're about to leave the immortal ship, we can't be lacking immortal crystals. We'll go up now, gather some immortal spirit herbs, and quickly leave. This isn't a place to stay, staying here is just waiting for death. Jinbingyu understood Yemo and climbed on his back. If Yemo's guess was right, then it was indeed too dangerous for them to stay here. Yemo shut the pill tower and hung up a solitary cultivation sign and quickly went towards the top deck. After taking the immortal crystals, Emo arrived at the top deck. He now realized why it was called the top deck. The dense immortal spirit she was on par with some big sections. The residential homes were all like big estates, extremely luxurious. Not only was there a marketplace, but there were all sorts of restaurants and merchant towers on the streets. This was an immortal city, a very prosperous immortal city. There were quite a lot of immortals on the streets who came and went. Emo scanned with his spirit sense and saw there were more than 100,000 immortals here. The business at the restaurants was great, showing that all the immortals living here were extremely wealthy. Emo didn't intend to walk around here at all. He brought Jinbingyu to the marketplace extremely quickly. There were all sorts of immortal spirit herbs and materials. He would need a lot of immortal spirit herbs if he was going into the void. Just when Emo was planning to buy immortal spirit herbs en masse with Han Changjin's card, he saw that one big merchant tower was surrounded by immortals. Let's go see. Emo carried Jinbingyu into the merchant tower. He usually wouldn't come to see what the commotion was about, but now that he was planning to run, he didn't care. There was a big hall filled with all sorts of immortals, including Great Eternity Immortal. At the stage, a Great Extreme Immortal was holding a jade box and everyone's eyes were glued to it. How many immortal crystals? Name a price. It's not good having more and more people come. Someone called out impatiently. Emo squeezed over to an abstruse immortal tertiary stage and saluted with his fists. Friend, may I ask what's inside the jade box? The abstruse immortal stared at Jinbingyu on Emo's back in astonishment before saying, It's truth, abyssal mud. What? Emo was dazed. This was a priceless treasure. It was said that in order to make a small world, one needed lots of top-grade truth abyssal mud. He didn't know if that was true, but truth abyssal mud was greatly useful to him. It could be used to forge immortal spirit herb gardens and a small survival space like a small world. It was said that the immortal spirit herb garden made with truth abyssal mud could even be put inside storage rings and not affect the immortal spirit herb growth. No wonder so many people were here. But Emo didn't get it. Why was someone selling it? Everyone calm down, this truth abyssal mud's level isn't high. Everyone knows the price I just bought it for. It was 80 million immortal crystals. Now Emo realized why it was being sold. People saw it when it was brought in. Even though its level wasn't high, it shouldn't be sold for only 80 million. The manger obviously earned big. Emo knew a bad quality truth abyssal mud was around 200 million. Although immortal spirit herbs and pills were more expensive in the ship than outside, forgery materials were cheaper. Okay, then use 80 million as the starting price and sell it to whoever can give you the most. Let's do things quickly. One Great Eternity Immortal said impatiently. Everyone knew what the Great Eternity Immortal was thinking. If the immortal kings of this ship learned about it, there wouldn't be a share left for them. Okay, the starting price is 80 million, everyone start bidding, the manager said helplessly. He knew if he didn't sell it quickly his shop would explode. 100 million! Someone bid immediately. Emo took out an immortal crystals card and looked at the abstruse immortal tertiary stage. I borrowed an immortal crystals card from my friend. How do I check the immortal crystals inside? The abstruse immortal tertiary stage looked at Emo in confusion. Scan your spirit sense in and you will know. It was that simple? Emo was dazed and scanned his spirit sense inside the card. There were actually 100 million immortal crystals. It was quite a lot, but not enough for him to buy this mud. Do you want this mud? Jinbingyu asked quietly. Before Emo could answer, there was the sound of laughter. One Great Unity Immortal laughed at Jinbingyu and said, I want this mud too, but I don't have enough immortal crystals. Emo didn't mind and scanned his spirit sense into the 2 immortal crystals cards of the dead manager. He thought there wouldn't be more than 100 million crystals, but when he saw that both cards contained 100 million, he was dazed. A lower deck manager was this wealthy? Thinking about all the years the manager robbed immortal crystals, it didn't seem that surprising now. This way, he had 300 million immortal crystals. He might really be able to buy it. In a short time, the mud was priced at 160 million. But not many people were bidding now. This mud would be priced at most around 200 million. 200 million! Everyone gathered their gaze on EMO. All the immortals here were wealthy, but not everyone could easily take out 200 million. What shook everyone was that it was only an abstruse immortal primary stage bidding. He was probably the weakest in the hall, and he was carrying a heavily injured female immortal on his back. She was an astonishing beauty. If he was willing to sell her, he might be able to make a few million. What shook everyone was that it was only an abstruse immortal primary stage bidding. He was probably the weakest in the hall, and he was carrying a heavily injured female immortal on his back. She was an astonishing beauty. If he was willing to sell her, he might be able to make a few million. But no one bid for now. This was first because the price was extremely high, and second was many people were thinking that if EMO couldn't take out that many immortal crystals he would sell the woman on his back. Seeing it was only an abstruse immortal primary stage bidding, the manager's face sunk. Do you know what price you need to pay if you can't take out 200 million? EMO didn't seem to hear this and asked calmly, Are you going to sell it or not? If you won't, then why care about how much I bid? Ha, you want to act tough in front of me? You're too young. Even if someone adds 200 million more, it's nothing to me. I'll sell it to you today, give me the immortal crystals. After waiting for a while and seeing no one bid, the manager smirked uncomfortably. He knew no one would add 200 million more. But if someone really did, he would kick EMO to the side without hesitation. In fact, he was very annoyed. Regardless whether EMO had 200 million or not, he didn't like EMO's bid. If the price was increased by 1 million each time, perhaps this mud would sell for more than 200 million. But EMO bid 200 million straight up, killing a lot of people's desire to bid. Then he scanned around and asked, Anyone else going to bid? No one else bid, and they all looked at EMO. EMO took out 2 immortal crystals card and passed it to the manager. There are 200 million crystals inside, give the thing to me. Before the manager handed the jade box to him, he grabbed it in his hand and opened the box, checking with his spirit sense. The manager scanned his spirit sense in the cards and found there were indeed 200 million. He nodded calmly. That's right, there are indeed 200 million. But I need to tell you, it's not easy to earn some immortal crystals. It's not easy for you to cultivate to abstruse immortal primary stage. How could EMO not know what the manager meant? But he ignored him and carried Jinbingyu away from this hall. The manager meant that with his power, he wouldn't be able to keep the truth abyssal mud. Getting it is only harmful to him, but the manager didn't say that out of goodwill. He was reminding the immortals nearby that he was only an abstruse immortal primary stage. Seeing EMO's figure disappear, the great Unity Immortal who laughed at him said in shock, Who is this person? He really bought the truth abyssal mud. No one answered. A few great extreme immortal and great eternity immortals were following EMO already. They couldn't attack on the ship, but they could force EMO to hand it over. Before EMO even left the marketplace, he knew he was being followed. He quickly pulled over a great Unity Immortal and said, I want to visit an Immortal King of the special deck. May I ask where the Immortal Tower for getting immortal crystals are? The great Unity Immortal was scared by EMO's words, Visit an Immortal King? He thought EMO was asking where the Immortal King lived, but then EMO asked instead where to get immortal crystals. He quickly pointed outside the marketplace and said, Go out of the market, and turn left. The 6th shop is the place for immortal crystal storage. Then he quickly left. As soon as he turned, he realized, if he even knew where the Immortal King lived, how could he not know where to get immortal crystals? But at this moment EMO had already left the marketplace. Those few immortals following EMO also heard his words. A few of them frowned and stopped following EMO. They thought if EMO must have been sent over by some immortal king, or else how would he have this many immortal crystals? But a few immortals still followed behind EMO, only when he truly went in the special deck would they believe EMO. Of course EMO wasn't going into the special deck, he just said that to buy himself some extra time. Even if he was to go into the void, He would need to get some immortal crystals, or else how was he to cultivate? Guillermo immediately went to the tower as quickly as possible. Take out all the immortal crystals in this card and place them in this storage ring. Guillermo gave the card and a storage ring to the manager inside. The manager looked at the card and the storage ring before looking at Guillermo in confusion. You're sure you want to take it all out? Yes, I came from middle deck and I want to buy some pills at the top deck, Guillermo said. The manager asked no more. It didn't matter where Guillermo's card came from. Plus, some immortal pills indeed needed immortal crystals to be paid for, not the card. 10 seconds later, Guillermo walked out of the tower with a storage ring filled with 100 million immortal crystals and quickly walked to the middle deck entrance. After Guillermo, 2 great eternity immortals and 1 great extreme immortal came in here. What did that abstruse immortal come do here? The great eternity immortal asked. The manager didn't want to talk, but seeing it was a great eternity immortal, he quickly got up and said, he took out 100 million immortal crystals. The great eternity immortal frowned and thought for a while before leaving the place and quickly heading towards the middle deck entrance. Seeing the 2 great eternity immortals go down, the great extreme immortal followed without hesitation. But Guillermo was too fast. When the 2 great eternity immortals went into the middle deck, Guillermo was long gone. The 2 great eternity immortals weren't worried. Even though their spirit sense was limited, it was too easy for them to find someone here. In a short time, the 2 heard that an abstruse immortal primary stage who carried a woman lived in the market and had a stall called MOU Pill Tower. The 2 great eternity immortal came to the pill tower as quickly as possible but saw the sign solitary cultivation, do not disturb. Open the restriction immediately, if he doesn't then we'll break in. 1 great eternity immortal sneered. As soon as his voice sounded, he heard the sound of sirens. The 2 great eternity immortal looked at each other. One of them said, we'll come back later, something probably happened to the immortal ship. This abstruse immortal won't be able to get away. Okay. The 2 left quickly. The highest status people lived at the special deck. It was also the place of the 3 immortal kings. Only the top grade auctions and feasts would be held here. In a huge garden in the special deck, a middle-aged man stood and behind him was a red-clothed female immortal. You said truth abyssal mud appeared in the market at the top deck? The middle-aged man turned around and frowned. Yes, master, it's indeed truth abyssal mud. Its level isn't very high but it's not the worst. The female immortal bowed. Then where is it? The middle-aged man asked calmly. His voice seemed to come from the void. There were about a few hundred there, but it was eventually bought by an abstruse immortal primary stage for 200 million immortal crystals. Then she passed up a crystal ball and said, Master, it's all recorded in here. The middle-aged man nodded and scanned his spirit sense in. Then he said in shock, such a beautiful goddess. After a moment he put down the crystal and said, bring that abstruse immortal here, I need to ask him things. Bring the goddess he carries on his back too, I'll see if I can cure her. Also investigate who he is and what he did on the ship, where did he get his immortal crystals from? Yes, master. The female immortal left. At this moment the ship suddenly shook. The middle-aged man's face changed and he immediately asked, what happened? The Heaven Domain ship wouldn't shake even if an extremely large asteroid smashed it. Not good, there's a flame beast tide. They charged up while the ship was stopped and the restrictions were open. They've broken into multiple restrictions, the restrictions can't be shut now. 1 great extreme immortal rushed over. Immediately notified the 2 other immortal kings and organized people to stop this beast tide while repairing the restrictions. The middle-aged man commanded and dashed out of the garden. Of course Guillermo wouldn't be dumb enough to be in solitary cultivation. He had come to the exit to the void, but he didn't expect his luck to be this bad. Of course Guillermo wouldn't be dumb enough to be in solitary cultivation. He had come to the exit to the void, but he didn't expect his luck to be this bad. The exit at the middle deck was in a mess. There was blood everywhere, with immortal corpses scattered across the balcony. Thousands of immortals had released their magic artifacts guarding the place. Not far ahead were countless immortal spirit beasts covered in black flames. Even though they hadn't attacked yet, Emo felt the waves of terrifying temperature. Everyone, don't worry. As long as we defend one more wave of attacks, the Immortal King will repair the top deck restriction and come to the middle deck to help us. One great Eternity Immortal Peak stage commanded. With this, some of the worried immortals calmed down. More and more immortals came. Yemo's heart sunk. Other people hoped the restriction would be repaired, but he didn't. He not only used the Great Unity Immortal Manager's Immortal Crystals card but also bought a Truth Abyssal Mud. Even if he could ignore these two things, he couldn't ignore the Immortal King coming. Plus, there was that Han Changjin keeping his eyes on him. This guy was definitely no good person, either was that seed Pengon and gave him any good. He had to escape this immortal ship before the Immortal King came. Even if he died in the void, it was better than staying on this immortal ship. What are you doing here carrying a heavily injured person? Hurry up and retreat. These are void flame beasts. With your power you will die for sure if you see a high-level one. A Great Unity Immortal reproached. Emo knew this Great Unity Immortal said this out of goodwill. With this, all the immortals nearby looked at Emo, not understanding what he was doing. Even the head Great Eternity Immortal looked over. Emo saw that Great Eternity Immortal was about to speak and quickly spoke first. The Void Flame Beasts attacked our restriction and caused so many immortals to die. I'm also a member of the ship, how can I hide in the back? Plus, I have a combined attack with my martial sister, even if I can only kill one, I can relieve some pressure for everyone. If I don't help because my power is low, more people will use this excuse. If the immortal ship is alive, I'm alive. If the immortal ship dies, I will still die. Masters, please allow me to fight. Emo spoke firmly and adamantly, with killing intent in his eyes. The Great Eternity Immortal nodded. Well done, one should have such thoughts in the ship, stand behind me later. Then he said to the other immortals, I hope everyone can be like this brother, and not fear the beasts due to their power. We still have immortal kings on our side, how can we fear them? Plus we've encountered these beasts before and won. Emo stood behind the Great Eternity Immortal while cursing these beasts. Why did they have to come now when he was about to run? On top of that, they still didn't attack. What was the point of having a standoff? The top deck restrictions are about to be repaired. Everyone hold on. 2 immortal kings will be coming over soon. One great extreme immortal rushed over and yelled. Emo was getting even more desperate. Jinbingyu could feel Yemo's mood. Just when she wanted to speak, the black mass of immortal spirit beasts charged over. With this many coming over, the searing temperature made many low-level immortals retreat. Emo retreated too. He retreated further from the Great Eternity Immortal. In the roar of the immortal spirit beasts, many immortals released their magic artifacts to attack. Explosions sounded everywhere, magic artifacts and black flames clashed. In the intense battle, many immortal spirit beasts were killed, falling to the balcony. There were also many immortals killed and thrown into the void or burned to death. Abstruse immortals wouldn't even be able to attack nearby. They would have to go further away and release magic artifacts to harass these immortal spirit beasts. One person was of the exception, that was Emo. A purple flame rose around him, surrounding him and Jinbingyu. The flames of the void flame beasts couldn't burn inside. But everyone's attention was on the immortal spirit beasts, and although a few people saw Yemo's flame, they knew now wasn't the time to ask. Yihong Immortal King Master is here. One immortal called out in joy. Emo knew he couldn't wait anymore or he wouldn't have the chance again. His purple flame barrier expanded and Emo hacked out. But this strike didn't hit any immortal spirit beast, and Emo was instead swept away by the dark flames into the tide. One Great Unity Immortal was shocked at Yemo's power, but suddenly he saw Emo get easily swept away. His power level was too low. What a pity, that abstruse immortal was brave and hot-blooded, but he was only abstruse immortal primary stage. Only this Great Unity Immortal noticed Emo, the other immortals were all focused on their enemies. Don't worry, everyone, I will repair the restrictions. A deep, heavy voice sounded, and all the immortals felt relaxed. It was an immortal king, but he didn't repair the restrictions immediately. He charged to the front and waved out hundreds of beams while releasing his huge force. Howls of pain sounded, and the first few hundred void flame beasts were swept by the beams and fell to the balcony. Other flame beasts couldn't even stand up in front of the immortal king's power. They all retreated. This immortal king didn't stop there. He shot out a few hundred more beams into the tide. The densely clustered void flame beast tide became scattered with just a few attacks of the immortal king. If they didn't retreat, more would die. There were a lot of flame beasts this time, but they were mostly level 6 and below. Of course, the middle deck defended really well and didn't let a single beast enter. I just heard here that an abstruse immortal primary stage asked to go fight in order to stop the flame beasts. He even carried his doubt partner and charged at the front. We need to reward such people. Yihong nodded. There were a lot of flame beasts this time, but they were mostly level 6 and below. Of course, the middle deck defended really well and didn't let a single beast enter. I just heard here that an abstruse immortal primary stage asked to go fight in order to stop the flame beasts. He even carried his doubt partner and charged at the front. We need to reward such people. Yihong nodded. Fei Ming was touched. There's such a hot-blooded immortal? He should be rewarded heavily. Where is this person? Not only do we need to reward this person with cultivation methods and cultivation resources, we also need to give him a place to live at the top deck as a role model. We should all reward heavily those who proactively attack the beasts. Yihong nodded and said in pity. But this immortal was swept away by the flame beasts. Then Yihong asked that great eternity immortal. What was that abstruse immortal and his doubt partner called? The great eternity immortal already asked around and knew who Emo was. He immediately answered. Immortal King Master, that abstruse immortal is called Emo. His doubt partner was injured and he had a pill tower at the middle deck market, stall number 560. He's also a level 4 immortal pill great master. Oh. Yihong was touched too. Level 4 immortal pill great masters were valued everywhere, and yet he had the courage to fight flame beasts. Heavily injured? Fei Ming suddenly thought of that crystal ball he had seen and asked. Did he carry his doubt partner? Then, he passed the crystal ball to the great eternity immortal. Is it this person? The great eternity immortal nodded and reported. Yes, immortal King Fei Ming Master. Fei Ming frowned, and just when he wanted to talk, a red figure landed next to him. It was a great extreme immortal female immortal. Seeing her come over, Fei Ming immediately saluted with his fists to Yihong and said, Brother Yihong, I need to go. Please do, Brother Fei Ming. Yihong was confused as to why Fei Ming would care so much about an abstruse immortal primary stage, but he still smiled. In a luxurious room in the special deck, Fei Ming stared at that female immortal and said, Tell me everything you found. Yes, Master. The female immortal answered. This person is called Emo. He's a level 4 immortal pill great master. He came from the lower deck to middle deck and rented a stall for his pill shop at the middle deck's marketplace. He's very low-key and never goes out to attract business, nor does he fight with people. However, he is very strong. He fought 2 abstruse immortal tertiary stage cultivators at the low deck arena and won by luck. This is the record. The female immortal gave another crystal ball over. Fei Ming looked at the crystal ball once and frowned. He wasn't there, but he could tell that abstruse immortal primary stage was intentionally suppressing his power. Luck? What huge luck! Immortal King Fei Ming sneered. Where did he get his immortal crystals card from? Fei Ming asked. The female immortal quickly answered. I checked the hidden marks of the 3 cards. 2 belonged to low deck manager Gu Qianfeng. Gu Qianfeng went to the void at the last stop and never came back. 1 card comes from top deck's Han Changjin. Han Changjin was invited to the ship by He Ho Immortal King. I didn't investigate him. What a hot-blooded immortal. He can even kill a great Unity Immortal manager. Hot-blooded indeed. Fei Ming slammed the table into dust. He kept the Immortal Crystals card for a year, and only used them today and bought the Truth Abyssal Mud. He takes out another 100 million, and then charges into the Void Beast Tide. Such calculations. This person can go into the void, clearly he has other secrets. Fei Ming sneered to himself and ordered the female immortal. Call over Han Changjin immediately. I want to see what relationship he has with that EMO. Han Changjin's face was also sunken. In a luxurious hall in the top deck sat more than 10 immortals. The strongest was Great Eternity Immortal, but Han Changjin sat at the top. Pengandang, who said he was going to the void, sat on the right. Gandang, that EMO borrowed 100 million immortal crystals from me and went into the void. He acted so cockily at the top deck too. This is what he does after getting that thing? Han Changjin asked bleakly. I didn't expect that EMO was this powerful. He could even kill a lower deck Great Unity Immortal manager. He cockily used 2 immortal crystal cards from the manager, and took out 100 million crystals at the top deck to buy the Truth Abyssal Mud. Clearly, he wants to expose us. I'm certain that soon, the Immortal King here will come to us. A dark-faced, skinny, great extreme immortal shrieked. Pengandang sighed. In my impression, Yemo isn't someone who knows calculations. He's very generous and a man of principle. In his most difficult time, he rejected young master's offer. Plus, when I gave him something, he acted calm, but the fire in his eyes was intense. I thought his first closing of the shop was to check that thing, but now I realize that he took the thing with a jade box and didn't even want to touch it. He was suspicious at the time. Han Changjin sighed after a long while. He intentionally drug us out, but that's okay. I'm afraid that he would do something to that thing. If he throws it into the void, sigh. I don't think so. One Great Eternity Immortal said. No one would be able to reject that thing. Even if he is suspicious, he will carefully look at it. As long as he takes it out, then it's done. Brother Wan is right. No one would be able to throw that away. Even an immortal king wouldn't be able to. Han Changjin nodded. Cursed insect, he's so cunning. It's his fortune that we want his body. Oh, one great extreme immortal cursed. Speak of this no more. Plus, even if he goes into the void, as long as he takes out that thing, his body won't belong to him. Han Changjin waved his hand. Let's discuss how we answer the questioning of that one in the special deck. As soon as Yemo charged into the flame beast tide, the purple flame around him crackled. This was the Miss Lotus Heart fire, and flame beasts' flames burning each other. There were too many beasts. Although many high-level beasts wouldn't care about him, some low-level flame beasts had charged at him already. Countless black flame blades purged at him. Yemo's Miss Lotus Heart fire instantly thinned down. A few flame blades broke through the defense layer and struck Yemo's body. Yemo immediately felt a burning pain. Jinbingyu groaned on his back. Yemo knew she was probably injured. He quickly waved and brought Jinbingyu to the front while charging out. He curved his body and increased the barrier of heaven flame 9 suns. The increasing flame blades made Yemo's heart sink. Who knew how dense this beast tide was? For now, no high-level beasts noticed him. If they did, he might be eaten in one gulp. Yemo changed the barrier to heaven flame 9 suns and it could indeed stop most of the black flames, but it was too depleting on spirit sense. Even though he had great unity immortal middle stage spirit sense, it still couldn't withstand such use. He had an immortal nirvana body, but despite Jinbingyu being shielded by Yemo, she was still bleeding from the flame blades. Yemo knew that if this continued, the two of them wouldn't be able to get out at all. He didn't use the World Rock for fear of attracting high-level flame beasts' attention, but now it didn't seem like he had a choice. Just when he was about to use the World Rock, there was a rustling in the tide. Some void flame beast stopped attacking him. At this moment, Yemo knew it was probably the Immortal King starting to counterattack. How could he not grasp such an opportunity? He immediately spat a mouthful of essence blood and used 5-element mobility. With the weakening of the beast tide, Yemo also left the tide without any effort. Some asteroids flew past Emo, and he slowed down. Jinbingyu looked down at her chest that was being squeezed out of shape by Emo, and suddenly had a strange feeling. It was the same feeling as when she saw Emo achieve nirvana. She felt her body temperature rise. Some asteroids flew past Emo, and he slowed down. Jinbingyu looked down at her chest that was being squeezed out of shape by Emo, and suddenly had a strange feeling. It was the same feeling as when she saw Emo achieve nirvana. She felt her body temperature rise. After escaping from the flame beast tide, Emo finally breathed easy. He released Blue Moon and placed Jinbingyu inside before saying, "I finally got out. One day I'm going to throw the bastard immortal kings on this ship into the void." When Jinbingyu was put down by Emo, she had an empty feeling in her heart as though she didn't want to be put down. She was dazed and thought, was that strange feeling the premonition of lust? Emo saw Jinbingyu didn't answer. He looked down and saw her shirt was torn by the flame blades. Her snow-white chest showed again, and even though this wasn't his first time seeing it, he still felt a little awkward. Emo coughed and said, "You should change clothes. The flames of these flame beasts were powerful indeed. If they weren't attacked, it would be really hard to escape." Jinbingyu nodded and ate the words she was about to ask. She really wanted to ask Emo what lust felt like, but thinking she had hopes of recovery and couldn't try this with Emo, she gave up asking. When Jinbingyu changed into a new set of clothes, Emo carried her on his back again and controlled Blue Moon, leaving quickly. In the void, as long as he was careful, he could avoid some disasters. 3 months later, Blue Moon slowed down. The void location disk couldn't detect the immortal ship anymore. This meant that they had completely left the range of the immortal ship. "What do we do now?" Jinbingyu looked at Emo, who got off Blue Moon, and asked. "Wait, let me see this." Emo took out a storage ring. "This is the Tao Vindication seed Pengonen gave you?" Jinbingyu immediately recognized the storage ring. Emo nodded. "That's right, it's that primordial chaos seed. You want to check it out?" Jinbingyu looked at Emo in confusion. Emo said it wasn't real before, why did he want to see it now? Emo raised the storage ring. "This might be a Tao Vindication seed, but I'm not interested now." Jinbingyu nodded. She thought Emo meant his power was too low, but Emo actually meant he had too many good things and didn't need to risk it. Emo was almost possessed at the bottom of the pond in the Chaos Star realm. He even felt this Tao Vindication seed wasn't suited for him. "I won't open it." Then Emo placed the storage ring on Blue Moon. "Then why don't you throw it into the void? As long as you do, then its problem has nothing to do with you." Jinbingyu asked in confusion. Emo nodded. "The reason I stopped here is to deal with this seed. I have a feeling that with my current capabilities, I can't control it at all, regardless if it's real or fake." Emo's genuine feeling was he didn't feel comfortable having this seed on him. Regardless, he was planning to throw it away. Jinbingyu just watched. Emo didn't wait too long, and in just 4 days, his spirit sense found another void flying snow. Seeing Emo use a spirit sense net to capture it, Jinbingyu finally understood what was going on. Emo wanted to capture the void flying snow. She felt strange. Theoretically, Emo should be trying to run now or find a way out. She only needed one flying snow pill, and she already had multiple of them. Emo still had another void flying snow. Why did he want to keep capturing them? But soon, Jinbingyu realized what was going on. When Emo stopped the void flying snow for the second time with his spirit sense net, he didn't grab it. He threw out the storage ring with the Tao Vindication seed. That storage ring instantly immersed into the void flying snow. When Emo released his spirit sense net, that void flying snow instantly disappeared. Then Emo released Blue Moon and went the opposite way. "You're not curious at all?" Jinbingyu really didn't understand why Emo wasn't curious at all. Even if he was suspicious of Pingondang, he could open it to look. Emo said calmly, "Anyone would be curious of this Tao Vindication seed, but I trust my own judgment more." A few days later, Emo slowed Blue Moon down. When it stopped, he took out the Truth Abyssal Mud. "You want to forge a small world?" Jinbingyu couldn't help asking. Even the best immortal forgery grandmaster would need to grasp the laws of the world to forge a small world. He must know quite something about space laws. Yemo smiled. I don't have such ambitions nor power, I just want to forge a small room. 10 days later, the truth abyssal mud turned into an extremely small gray bead. Precisely, it had been forged into a level 4 immortal artifact. It had no offensive capabilities but came with a level 3 defense immortal formation. What is this? Jinbingyu looked at the bead and asked. We can call it Flying Snow Bead. We'll live inside this bead from now on. My power is too low. I can't cultivate on Blue Moon, so I can only cultivate inside the bead. This is an immortal artifact I forged based on a small world. It's very small, but it can be an immortal spirit herb garden. Jinbingyu realized what Yemo meant, but this thing was small and didn't have much use. Yemo didn't explain to Jinbingyu and kept capturing void flying snow. Finally, Jinbingyu understood what was going on. Yemo wanted to use void flying snow to bring this bead around. Yemo thought so indeed. In the realm domain void, he didn't have a sense of direction nor a final destination. Instead of driving Blue Moon carefully, he might as well let void flying snow lead the way. The void flying snow was extremely fast, far from what Blue Moon could compare to. Also, no matter how fast it wouldn't ram into asteroids nor space storms. Yemo was a genius. Jinbingyu looked at Yemo, who was focused on capturing void flying snow, and admired him. Anyone else who fell into the void wouldn't have Yemo's thinking and power. 10 days later, Yemo caught the first void flying snow. However, Yemo didn't use it and took it into his storage ring instead. A month later, when Yemo caught the fourth void flying snow and finally put away Blue Moon. Okay, the void flying snows before were too slow, only this one satisfies me. He first put the flying snow orb inside the void flying snow and then let go of the void flying snow while taking Jinbingyu instead the orb. In the void flying snow rapidly accelerated and instantly regained its original speed, slicing through the void. It was very stable inside the orb. Yemo scanned his spirit sense out and found that the void flying snow didn't slow down due to the flying snow orb at all. Even he felt happy with his cleverness. This speed was faster than an extreme-grade immortal artifact. Haha! Yemo couldn't resist laughing and feeling extremely satisfied. Jinbingyu saw this space wasn't big, but there was a small house and a pond, with even a few hundred low-level immortal spirit herbs and tens of high-level immortal spirit herbs. She couldn't help but exclaim, Martial Brother Yi, I really don't know how you thought of this. This place is amazing. Yemo put down Jinbingyu and said, We might be staying here for a long while, at least until I use up all the immortal crystals on me. By the way, I suggest you don't go over to the place where I will cultivate. You can use your spirit sense and scan out. If you find a place to go out, notify me immediately. Jinbingyu nodded. Okay, but I can't cultivate, so I can't scan out spirit sense for a long time. Jinbingyu nodded. Okay, but I can't cultivate, so I can't scan out spirit sense for a long time. Yemo thought for a moment and said, True, if I go into solitary cultivation, I might do so for a long time. I know you really want my cultivation method. If you can swear that other than us two you won't tell the cultivation method to a third person, I can give it to you. Jinbingyu immediately said solemnly, I, Jinbingyu, swear that if Martial Brother Yemo passes his cultivation method to me, I will definitely not leak it to a third person. If I betray my oath, I will die from divine damnation. To Jinbingyu, the great Tao was everything. Yemo's heritage was extremely powerful. She had tried a few times before to get it from Yemo, but he ignored her. Now Yemo probably had no choice. He wanted her to help him but didn't want her to interrupt his cultivation, so he could only give it to her. In fact, she guessed right. Yemo was going to use the time formation disk for solitary cultivation. He indeed needed Jinbingyu's help. Yemo was certain that the cultivation method born from the three-birth chant might not be able to recover her, but it could let her walk. Your immortal water spirit root. My cultivation method is called 3-birth God water chant. After reaching Hollow Immortal with this cultivation method, it can birth the cultivation method for the next level based on your experience. Emo gave Jinbingyu a jade slip. Once a cultivator reaches Hollow Immortal, his spirit roots would turn into immortal spirit roots. Jinbingyu had water spirit roots, and after she reached Hollow Immortal, they became immortal water spirit roots. It's a cultivation method that can form itself? You gave me a cultivation method beyond immortal grade? No, this cultivation method is beyond God grade. Jinbingyu took the jade slip and said in disbelief. Even level 9 immortal grade cultivation methods, God grade, and divine grade cultivation methods wouldn't be able to automatically form the cultivation methods for the next state. This was why Jinbingyu was so shocked. The 3-birth chant was too absurd. If it appeared in the immortal realm, Emo wouldn't even have any bone dust left. Even if Emo ran into the void, he probably wouldn't escape the hunt of powerful beings. Wait, Jinbingyu suddenly thought of another thing. Emo had lightning element magic artifacts. He might not be cultivating the water element. Did this mean he had other ones? Jinbingyu just looked at Emo but didn't ask. She felt she didn't need to know. Emo set up a stealth formation in one corner and took out the time formation disc and a bunch of immortal crystals, starting his solitary cultivation. Spirit sense couldn't scan into the place where Emo cultivated at all. The immortal spirit chi had completely condensed into mist above Emo. Jinbingyu thought it was no wonder Emo was so happy. Who else could travel in the void at such speed and cultivate without being affected at all? However, the place Emo cultivated gave her a very strange feeling. It seemed to be beyond space and time. If she scanned her spirit sense there, it would be swept into a huge whirlpool and disappear. Piles of immortal crystals were consumed. 2 years later, in Emo's immortal spirit herb garden, a blue-dressed female was carefully watering the herbs. Her actions and manners seemed very serene. This was Jinbingyu, who cultivated 3-birth God water chant. Her spirit roots hadn't recovered yet, but she could walk now. Her expression didn't seem to be cold like before. At least when she looked at the immortal spirit herb, her face was joyful and peaceful. After watering the immortal spirit herb, Jinbingyu placed down the tools and scanned her spirit sense out of the orb. This was her routine job. Emo told her to know where they were at all times. During these 2 years, this was all she did other than cultivation. But soon, her face changed. She saw a flying magic artifact pass their void flying snow. One immortal was planning to capture this void flying snow but failed. She immediately notified Emo. At this moment, Emo was devouring immortal crystals like crazy. He had only about 1 million immortal crystals left from the 100 million. Even if Jinbingyu didn't call him, he was planning to stop. 100 million only let him reach abstruse immortal middle stage peak. He didn't even reach abstruse immortal tertiary stage. This made Emo realize just how hard his cultivation was. When he reached great immortal, using immortal crystals to cultivate probably wasn't going to be very useful. The 3-birth chant was indeed powerful, but the cultivation resources it required was insane. Emo even suspected he needed more cultivation resources than a status immortal. When the communication bead lit up, Emo stopped cultivation immediately. Emo put away the time formation disc. Martial Sister Bingyu, you can walk now? Emo came up to Jinbingyu and said joyfully. Yes, thank you. I cultivated using your cultivation method and my body is recovering to that of a normal person's. I can walk now. Jinbingyu said happily. Martial Sister Bingyu, I feel you have changed but I can't tell how. Emo looked at Jinbingyu strangely. Jinbingyu knew her change, of course. Before, her Tao heart was that everything was ethereal except the great Tao. Nothing could stop her Tao heart, but after cultivating the 3-birth God water chant, her Tao heart was gradually changing. One grass, one tree gave her inspiration. In the grand scheme of all things, even a small blade of grass had a chance to vindicate the Tao. The Tao heart was the extension of life, not the exclusion of all things. Middle Heaven Domain? There's about half a year journey till Middle Heaven Domain. The abstruse immortal studied Yimo's flying magic artifact and answered. Middle Heaven Domain? There's about half a year journey till Middle Heaven Domain. The abstruse immortal studied Yimo's flying magic artifact and answered. This is in the void? Yimo asked in shock. He didn't understand why these people dared to collect materials in the void. But seeing they weren't interested in talking, Yimo could only send some immortal crystals over. After getting the immortal crystals, they clearly was more proactive in answering. Yimo soon knew that this was still the void, but the realm domain void rather than heaven domain void. There was very little void flying snow in here. It was lucky that Yimo's void flying snow could fly to here. Void Star Continent was just an outpost star in the Middle Heaven domain. It moved very slowly and had its own atmosphere. Some outpost stars can stay in the void for hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years. The Void Star Continent was this place. Many immortals from the Middle Heaven domain came here and go into the void to capture void flying snow, or some forgery materials. Because Void Star Continent was not far from both the Heaven Domain Void and the Realm Domain Void, so some Heaven Domain immortal ships would choose this place as a stopover. There were many immortal ships stopped on this star. These ships would drop off some immortals and take away some. Yimo also knew that the nearest Heaven Domain here was called Zone Piao Heaven. It would take less than half a year by immortal ship to get over. Hearing this, Yimo couldn't help exclaiming that the void flying snow was too fast. It just used 2 years to come here. Even that immortal ship he was on before wasn't this fast. 10 days later, Yimo easily found Void Star Continent with the jade slip the two gave him. This place wasn't small indeed. Yimo's spirit sense couldn't even scan to the ends of it. There were marketplaces and immortal residential areas. But Yimo really didn't like this dull gray place. He didn't need to ask other people and immediately dragged Jinbingyu over to the immortal ship station. The immortal ships here could go to a few heaven domains, but Yimo chose the nearest heaven domain without hesitation. Luckily, he still had about 1.3 million immortal crystals. After buying 2 tickets and spending 1.2 million, he was in poverty again and only had 100,000 immortal crystals. Aboard this ship, Yimo finally breathed easy. This ship was much better than that Tang Feng Heaven Domain ship. At least after paying a ticket, there was free room. Even if you went to other places, you didn't have to pay immortal crystals. In the extremely large Piao immortal ship station of Zone Piao Heaven, there would be tens of immortal ships passing here every day. Today, an immortal ship stopped here. Tens of thousands of immortals got off. Some soon released their magic artifacts and disappeared off into the distance. Some stayed at the station and didn't leave. At this moment, one man and woman got off too and left the station. The male immortal was abstruse immortal middle stage. He was only average compared to the countless handsome male immortals in Zone Piao Heaven. However, the female immortal next to him was extremely beautiful. Even the ordinary blue dress she wore couldn't cover her extreme beauty. It was as though even the most beautiful goddess in Zone Piao Heaven couldn't compare with her. With her soft steps, the immortals nearby all had an urge to go protect her. Such a pretty goddess! All the immortals who saw her praised. Martial brother, where do we go? The female immortal asked the male immortal next to her. Hearing Jinbingyu's question, Yimo didn't answer. He looked at the shining sun and said, Finally, we can see sunlight again. Then he said, Let's find a place to ask around, this is our first time here. Yimo saw there were mostly abstruse immortal, or above around him, and knew the immortal levels of Zone Piao Heaven were much higher than a low heaven domain. The immortal spirit chi here is much better than Gonghua Heaven. If I can recover, it's quite good to cultivate here. Jinbingyu sighed. The immortal spirit chi here was indeed much better than low heaven domain, but to Yemo, just having a little more immortal spirit chi wasn't enough. At the square in the station there was a huge display screen in the center. Many immortals were watching the information on it. There were big and small things, secret realms opening, void adventure teaming, auctions, and level 7 immortal spirit herb information. Martial brother, look, Zone Piao Heaven's Blue Lightning Mountain's Blue Lightning Immortal Well is opening up. Inviting all immortals there for body refinement. We can go check it out too. Jun Bingyu asked. To Jun Bingyu, it seemed that Yemo cared about immortal wells a lot. Yemo stayed at that low-grade immortal well for half a year in the Chaos Star realm, and he knew lightning element cultivation method. Yemo was looking at this news too. It was very hard for his cultivation to progress now. It wasn't that his talent was bad, but his cultivation resources couldn't keep up. Yemo knew the benefits of immortal wells. It was the fastest he had seen ever since reaching Hollow Immortal. But he saw the conditions below it. It seemed very generous inviting everyone, but in order to be invited, one needed to satisfy some criterias. Those to go in must be top 50 on the Zone Piao contribution points leaderboard. He didn't even know what Zone Piao contribution points were. Two friends, are you not from Zone Piao Heaven? One abstruse immortal tertiary stage heard Jun Bingyu's words and asked. No, Yemo answered. The abstruse immortal tertiary stage said. No wonder, in the 11 Middle Heaven domains, Zone Piao Heaven is the one invaded by demons and beasts the most. Places like the Lan Yu Forest and Ping Piao Plains have completely become the domain of beasts and demons. Some sects there were forced to migrate too. If it wasn't for a few immortal king masters guarding Zone Piao Heaven, perhaps it would completely turn into the lands of beasts and demons. Zone Piao contribution points are calculated based on the amount of beasts immortals killed. It's useful anywhere in Zone Piao Heaven. It's even more useful than immortal crystals. You can exchange them for immortal crystals even at other heaven domains. If you've just come, then you don't need to go to Blue Lightning Immortal Well. There are only 100 spots, 50 for Great Immortals and 50 for Heaven Immortals. The spots have been set already. Just look at the huge tablet and you will know. Yemo and Jun Bingyu's glances focused on a huge tablet next to the display formation. There were 3 rankings. One was Heaven Immortal Zone Piao contribution points. There was 1,000 rankings. The second was Great Immortal Zone Piao contribution points ranking, 1,000 ranks too. The third was total 1,000 rank. Most of the names on the total ranking was Great Immortals. Yemo saw that the number 1 on the Heaven Immortal ranking was called Suji with 37 million points. The number 1 of the Great Immortal ranking was more than 100 million. So this news is useless then? Jun Bingyu asked. The abstruse immortal shook his head. Not completely useless, there's still a year until the well opens. Many people would hunt beasts like crazy for it or use immortal crystals to buy the Heaven Domain contribution points. Yemo asked in confusion. Heaven Domain contribution points can be bought? Of course, 1 contribution point for 20 top-grade immortal crystals. This is a public price, but because it's so favored, it's often sold for 30 to even 50 immortal crystals for 1. The abstruse immortal said. Then what about the demon beasts? How much contribution points for killing 1? Yemo asked. That abstruse immortal didn't think Yemo was planning to get into the top 50. He answered quite precisely. Demon beasts are immortal spirit beasts that have mutated from devouring too much demonic chi. 2 level 1 demon beasts can get 1 contribution point, 1 level 2 can get 2. Level 3 demonic beasts can get 5, level 4 demonic beasts can get 30. Level 5 can get 80, level 6 can get 200. That abstruse immortal didn't think Yemo was planning to get into the top 50. He answered quite precisely. Demon beasts are immortal spirit beasts that have mutated from devouring too much demonic chi. 2 level 1 demon beasts can get 1 contribution point, 1 level 2 can get 2. Level 3 demonic beasts can get 5, level 4 demonic beasts can get 30. Level 5 can get 80, level 6 can get 200. Hearing this, Yemo knew that no matter how powerful he was, he wouldn't be able to get top 50 within a year. The top 50 of Heaven Immortal was nearly 10 million contribution points. It was impossible for him to kill that many demonic beasts. If the demonic beasts stay at a certain place, why don't the Immortal King Masters go annihilate them? Yemo asked. The abstruse immortal shook his head. There are also level 7 and above demonic beasts. They usually don't appear in the settlements. And they have a tacit agreement that as long as status immortals don't annihilate ordinary demonic beasts, those high-level demonic beasts won't casually slaughter immortals below status immortal. Emo realized why there was no status immortal ranking now. Both sides were gathering power. The winning factor was still how many status immortals one had. Ping Piao Plain, this was the first stop Emo and Jinbingyu came to at Zone Piao Heaven. The main thing was that there were a lot of demonic beasts here. It was also very close to Blue Lightning Mountain. If he happened to get into top 50, Emo would really like to go cultivate at the Immortal Well. He must buy a contribution point jade card before he killed the demonic immortal spirit beast. These jade cards were a small teleportation magic artifact. When an immortal killed a demonic immortal spirit beast, he can dig out the beast core and send it into the jade card. The beast core would immediately be teleported away, and after that the jade card would show the contribution points. This type of jade card was called 5-colored contribution points card. The highest grade card can not only show the top 100 of the 3 ranks but also show what rank the jade card's owner was at. This jade card was purple. It can only be bought by those immortals who have 10 million or more contribution points. The next was blue jade card. It can show the top 50 of the 2 ranks. It can be bought after reaching 5 million contribution points. The next jade card is aqua color. It can be bought after reaching 100k points. It will show the ranking of the top 50 of your ranking ladder. Below blue is green. It can be bought after reaching 50k points. Most immortals use green cards. This card can show your own rank and contribution points. As for the worst card, it was yellow. It can only show how many points you had, nothing else. Rarely did people buy such jade cards. After all, a good jade card meant that one had contribution points and status. If people were forming squads and you took out a yellow jade card, then you would be lower than everyone. Emo didn't have many immortal crystals, and this could only buy the yellow jade card. If it wasn't that the Zone Piao Heaven tried to encourage all immortals to hunt for these demonic immortal spirit beasts, and lowered the jade card price, Emo wouldn't even be able to afford the yellow jade card. He bought 2 yellow jade cards for him and Jinbingyu, and used up pretty much all his immortal crystals. In order to avoid trouble, Emo changed his name to Moing when recording the jade card. Now, both of their cards showed 0. There were a lot of immortals on the Ping Piao Plain, ranging from Golden Immortal to Great Eternity Immortal. But after coming here, they would pretty much all go to the plain in teams. Even Great Eternity Immortals would form squads. The Great Eternity Immortals didn't dare to go into the depths alone to kill high-level demonic immortal spirit beasts. Just like the Blackweed Forest, there was a small town at the outskirts of the plain. There was an extremely simple marketplace and a huge team-forming hall. Immortals from everywhere who wanted to go into the plain would form squads here. Some squads spent a lot of time here, and their names were famous. Emo and Jinbingyu went into the team-forming hall and immediately caught the attention of all the immortals here. Emo was abstruse immortal middle stage, neither high nor low here. Everyone was watching Jinbingyu. Most of the immortals here lived in bloodbath and could tell Jinbingyu was heavily injured and had no immortal essence. If Emo was by himself, someone would still want to form a team with him, but no one knew what Emo meant by bringing in this heavily injured female immortal. Everyone would be willing to team up with an extreme beauty like Jinbingyu, but if she was useless, then no one would want to bring this dead weight. It was no joke inside the plain. Emo didn't come to form a team, he came to buy a map of the outskirts of the plain. He knew that by bringing Jinbingyu with him, no one would be willing to form a team with him. Jinbingyu couldn't protect herself, it was practical to let her stay at the town alone. If it was some extremely dangerous time, he would rather send Jinbingyu into the flying snow orb. But it was a pity, the flying snow orb couldn't be sent into the Golden Page world nor storage ring when carrying people. With Emo's forgery capabilities, the flying snow orb's truth abyssal chi couldn't be hidden from Great Eternity Immortal and above, so Emo didn't want to take it out unless necessary. Emo bought a map and then some info about the demonic immortal spirit beasts here before leaving. That abstruse immortal wouldn't be taking that heavily injured female immortal into the plane, right? Someone asked in confusion. He's no idiot. If he goes in alone, he wouldn't live long, and he's carrying a heavily injured person. Is he asking to die? I think he's settling his doubt partner. Perhaps he will be back to find someone to group up. One red-robed abstruse immortal tertiary stage heard this and left the hall following Emo. As soon as Emo and Jinbingyu came in, he saw. His eyes were set on Jinbingyu. Jinbingyu was extremely beautiful, but what was more important, that such extreme beauty was a virgin. If her spirit root was a single-element spirit root, then he might be able to break through to great immortal if he got that female immortal. He thought Emo would settle Jinbingyu and come to form a team, but instead Emo carried her on his back and flew into the plane. He immediately rejoiced. If Emo was really going to settle her in the town, it would be troublesome for him. But this abstruse immortal middle stage dared to bring a heavily injured woman into the plane. This was a God-given opportunity. Plus, he was also interested in Emo's blue moon. Some people knew this red-robed abstruse immortal who left, and all shook their heads. Emo just flew for 5 minutes and slowed down. Jinbingyu immediately noticed this, and her spirit sense scanned the following red-robed abstruse immortal. Someone followed over? Jinbingyu saw that the abstruse immortal was extremely fast, and neared Blue Moon in the blink of an eye. That's right, so we'll wait for him. Emo nodded. Jinbingyu frowned. But we don't even have a single contribution point. Why does that person want to follow us? Emo smiled. Perhaps because he thinks you're very pretty, so he wants to kill me and take you. Then he really chose the right person. Jinbingyu smiled. Emo sighed. He felt during the 2 years in the void, Jinbingyu seemed to have changed a lot. At least her face wasn't forever cold. Sometimes she would smile. Emo suspected this was due to her change in cultivation method. A red figure appeared before Blue Moon. Emo didn't even put away Blue Moon and stared coldly at this red-robed abstruse immortal, not even bothering to talk. I'm Feng Shangjian. Friend, I saw you were going in the plane with only 2 people, so I came to team up with you. The red-robed abstruse immortal scanned Jinbingyu and couldn't control the joy in his heart. Piss off! Emo yelled, scanning a great unity immortal coming over here quickly. Feng Shangjian thought that since he was abstruse immortal tertiary stage, and Emo was only abstruse immortal middle stage, he would agree to reject. He just needed an excuse. He wasn't really going to team up. Feng Shangjian thought that since he was abstruse immortal tertiary stage, and Emo was only abstruse immortal middle stage, he would agree to reject. He just needed an excuse. He wasn't really going to team up. He was waiting for Emo to reject and use that as an excuse. But now that Emo said piss off, he didn't need to act. He was furious. With this, Feng Shangjian raised his hand and a strange scented magic artifact was released. This was a rapidly expanding flower that was shaped like a trumpet. It grew bigger and bigger, and a strange smell kept emitting from it. It made Emo feel his immortal essence rapidly decrease. The area covered by that flower made people lazy, as though not wanting to leave again. Emo released his world rock and smashed at the flower. Seeing this, Feng Shangjian sneered. His flower didn't fear such magic artifacts at all. Jinbingyu's immortal essence was gone, and she couldn't resist at all. Plus, she had been with Emo all this time and wasn't wary at all. How could she stop this extremely lustful flower aroma? Before the magic artifact fully released, she stuck to Emo's back even closer. Luckily, she didn't completely lose her Dao heart, and could keep awake a little. Thud, the world rock smashed on the flower and the flower shook. That strange aroma was instantly gone. Crack, after pausing for a brief moment, the world rock smashed through the flower, and the flower instantly broke apart. How is this possible? Feng Shangjian looked at this and said in disbelief. He immediately realized now wasn't the time to be shocked, as he would be the next target for that weighing stone. But he realized that too late. After smashing the flower, the world rock broke through the flower and smashed Feng Shangjian. Splurged blood and flesh was torn apart. Feng Shangjian's essence spirit couldn't even escape and was smashed to nothing. This was the first abstruse immortal essence spirit to be smashed by the world rock. Emo took Feng Shangjian's storage ring and shook his head. He had this little power and dared to be cocky. To him now, ordinary abstruse immortals were really of no threat at all. Are you okay? Emo noticed Jin Bingyu's abnormality and asked. Jin Bingyu breathed and let loose of her hands, saying weakly, I'm fine, I finally realize it. What is it? Emo asked. Jin Bingyu bit her lips but didn't answer. She felt she finally understood what lust was. When she stuck closely to Emo, that feeling. It seemed that after she lost her immortal essence, her will lowered to Yemo's level. Yemo's attention rested on the Great Unity Immortal not far away. The Great Unity Immortal saw Yemo kill Feng Shangjian with one move and didn't come over. He rapidly turned to leave. Yemo breathed easy. He wasn't scared of a Great Unity Immortal, but if he really fought, it would be very hard bringing Jin Bingyu. Blue Moon flew again. Yemo started to count the storage ring of this abstruse immortal. There were 500k top-grade immortal crystals and some simple forgery materials and pills. Yemo didn't need such things but cared about the jade card the most. Yemo picked it up. There was a small line. Feng Shangjian, 175,000 contribution points, rank 467821. What a trash, he's ranked more than 400,000 away. Yemo cursed. Jin Bingyu calmed down from her emotions, and hearing this, she wanted to laugh. Yemo had not a single point himself. Then, Yemo transferred all the contribution points to his jade card without hesitation. Then, he threw the jade card away and sped off on Blue Moon. He didn't even start killing demonic immortal spirit beasts, and got more than 170k contribution points. 5 days later, Yemo got of Blue Moon. He knew from the map that this place was where demonic immortal spirit beasts appeared. He hadn't seen what it was yet. He would kill his way in to gather experience. The Jade Slip says that the lower the level, the more ethereal their bodies. After reaching level 7, the demonic immortal spirit beast had a physical form. As soon as Jin Bingyu said this, Yemo sliced out with Zisu. A shriek sounded and a faint figure was hacked apart by Yemo. A grey beast core landed on the ground and the figure quickly disappeared. Yemo picked it up and said, This is probably a level 1 demonic immortal spirit beast core. Why does Zong Piao Heaven want to collect this? Or is it just for contribution points? Yemo then threw it into the jade card and 5 contribution points were added. Perhaps they could be used for pill concoction or something else, Jin Bingyu said. Just when Yemo wanted to speak, a few extremely faint demonic immortal spirit beasts rushed over. Yemo hacked out 2 and a few more contribution points appeared in his jade card. This way is too slow, let's go find some high-level demonic immortal spirit beasts, Yemo said. 2 days later, Yemo began to meet some level 3 demonic immortal spirit beasts. They had a complete body shape and seemed half-materialized. Their offensive power had also greatly increased too. Not only could they use demonic blades but also use demonic chi to corrode souls. Some powerful ones could use demonic chi chains. One wouldn't be so well if caught by the chains. No wonder the immortals needed to form teams. That way, even if they were caught by the chains, they could save their essence blood. But this wasn't a problem for Yemo. His Heaven Flame 9 Suns was about to form the 4th sun. Coming from the inside, any demonic chains would be burned. Too slow. After killing low-level demonic immortal spirit beasts for 10 days, Yemo sighed. He had killed thousands of level 2 and level 3 demonic immortal spirit beasts, but his contribution points only increased by 30,000. Now Yemo realized how hard it was to reach 10 million in contribution points. Even if he earned 30k every 10 days, then in 1 year it would at most be 1 million or so. It was impossible to reach 10 million. Jin Bingyu felt guilty. She knew Yemo didn't mean anything, but she couldn't help Yemo and was dragging him back. A month later, Yemo had 400k contribution points in his jade card, but he still didn't find places with large amounts of the beasts. Even level 4s were very rare. The most powerful thing about level 4s were their demonic chains and soul corrosion. It was lethal to others but nothing much for Yemo. His spirit sense and heaven flame can easily stop them. But the pity was he couldn't find where the level 4 beasts lived. Yemo didn't dare to just run into the depths. He knew that if he fell into level 5 crowd, he wouldn't even be able to get away. It's almost all level 3 and below here. We don't know this place either. How about we ask someone? Jinbingyu knew Yemo wanted to go cultivate at the Blue Lightning Immortal Well. Someone is coming. Yemo saw a few dashing lights come over. It was 4 immortals, 2 men and 2 women, all abstruse immortal power. They were coming directly at Yemo. Two of them were abstruse immortal peak stage. 2 of them were abstruse immortal peak stage. It's just you two? The pink-dressed female immortal stared at Yemo and Jinbingyu, asking in confusion. Clearly she thought Yemo's cultivation level was too low, and he took a heavily injured Jinbingyu. They shouldn't have even been able to make it here. Yes, Emoing greets immortal friends. Usually, rarely did people call immortals below great immortals immortal friends. Yemo said this to show respect. The leading man looked at Yemo and Jinbingyu. This is the border of level 4 region of the plane. You're an abstruse immortal middle stage carrying a heavily injured goddess who dares to come here? Are you asking to die? Thank you for your care. I want to ask if it's level 4 area beyond this place. Yemo saluted with his fists. Yemo knew sometimes, it wasn't the deeper you went the higher the level of the demonic immortal spirit beast. It was possible that just beyond the level 3 area was level 5 area. That's right, a little further down would be where level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts are. Hurry up and take your doubt partner away. The leading abstruse immortal looked at Jinbingyu on Yemo's back and added out of goodwill. The pink-dressed female immortal said, Brother Xian, there are a lot of level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts behind here. If they meet a level 4 demonic immortal spirit beast on the way, then... Brother Xian waved his hand to Yemo. The Mist Demon Palace just opened. We're going there so we can't take you too. I have a jade slip for you, just retreat according to it, and you'll have a chance to get out of there. Then he was about to take out the jade slip. Yemo quickly asked, Brother Xian, may I ask what's the Mist Demon Palace? He knew these were nice people. Yemo was grateful but didn't plan on retreating. He came here to kill the beasts. How could he leave before reaching top 50? Brother Xian, if we go any later we'll fall behind. Another abstruse immortal man reminded. Brother Xian nodded and threw 2 jade slips to Yemo. Have a look yourself, we're going first. Then the 4 released flying magic artifacts and disappeared from the depths of the plane. Yemo scanned his spirit sense in the 2 jade slips. One was a rather precious route of the plane. Yemo could retreat out of here along this. Another jade slip was about the Mist Demon Palace. The past life of the Mist Demon Palace was the trial secret realm of the Great Eternity Immortal Sect Mist Spirit Sect. The sect members could come in here every century for trials. There were all sorts of immortal spirit herbs and treasures inside. The sect members could get different fortunes based on their luck and power. It's said that the Mist Spirit Sect set up their sect here because of finding this Mist Palace. So the Mist Palace had a longer history than the sect. Pity, demonic immortal spirit beasts invaded here and the sect was annihilated. The Mist Palace became the Mist Demon Palace. It opened every 1,000 years, it's shrouded in mist, and has all sorts of immortal spirit beasts. Of course, it's all demonic immortal spirit beasts. Every time it opened, many immortals would go in. Although there's a greater chance of dying, the chances of loot were also increased. Not only could you get large sums of contributions points here, you can also get many immortal spirit herbs or precious cultivation resources. Yemo passed the jade slip to Jinbingyu and said, Martial Sister Bingyu, the palace is about to start, let's go see it too. Outside a valley shrouded in mist, more than 10,000 immortals squeezed here. They were all staring at the misty entrance to the valley as though waiting for something. Brother Xian, look, that guy didn't leave and came here instead so cockily too. The pink-dressed female immortal immediately saw Yemo and Jinbingyu on Blue Moon. He probably doesn't know the rule, the other female immortal next to the pink-dressed female immortal said. Yemo didn't know the rule of landing before the valley, and that flying was disrespecting all the people who came here beforehand. If he knew, he would definitely get down. No matter how prideful he was, he wouldn't dare to disrespect so many immortals. Martial brother, they don't seem to be glancing at us nicely, Jinbingyu immediately noticed. Yemo guessed that it was probably because they kept flying. He immediately put away the flying magic artifact and landed. Kid, you're very cocky, taking a pretty doubt partner around. You dare to fly directly to the valley entrance. One great unity immortal sneered. He was going to teach Yemo a lesson even if he said nothing. Yemo knew he offended everyone by flying. He didn't fear one great unity immortal, but there were so many immortals here. Immortal friends, it's my first time here and I don't know the rules, please forgive me. Yemo saluted with his fists to everyone. Hearing this, everyone stopped caring. There were few people who didn't know the rules, but it didn't mean there were none. Since Yemo said this, he clearly really didn't know. Kid, you're indeed cocky. The great unity immortal knew what Yemo meant. He apologized to everyone else first because he was annoyed at him picking on him. Yemo sneered. He wasn't scared of a fight. He already explained why he didn't land. The mist is gone, the palace is open. The great unity immortal immediately heard this and pulled his attention away from Yemo. Yemo also noticed that the impenetrable mist began to clear up. The mist started dissipating and an entrance was revealed. The mist was like two side-moving doors, moving to the side. The impatient immortals all charged in as though if they went in late, they would lose a share of the things inside. The great unity immortal glared coldly at Yemo and charged into the mist too. Now, only Yemo and Jinbingyu remained. Let's go in too. Yemo carried Jinbingyu. The immortal spirit chi is so dense. Jinbingyu couldn't resist saying. Yemo nodded in agreement. With such dense immortal spirit chi here, there might be an immortal range inside. If we find one, we wouldn't need to go cultivate at the Blue Lightning Immortal Well. Recently, my cultivation hasn't progressed at all. Sigh, cultivation resources. Jinbingyu shook her head. She saw Yemo's growth. When she first saw him, he was only golden immortal middle stage. How long had it been, and he was now abstruse immortal middle stage peak. Yet, he still said he was progressing slowly. How would others feel about this? The two went into the depths of the valley. 15 minutes later, 9 ancient big doors appeared before Yemo and Jinbingyu. Just like storage ring, she had never heard of things being able to exist after a storage ring was shattered except for a few top-grade magic artifact that could resist the pressure of space shattering. Most things would dissipate after the storage ring broke. Yemo saw more demonic chains form quickly and knew that just relying on defense won't last them very long. He didn't have time to explain to Jinbingyu and released 4 purple suns. The 4th sun's color was a bit dim as Yemo's Heaven Flame 9 suns hadn't completely reached level 4. The purple flame ball rose and endless purple rays shone down on the densely clustered demonic immortal spirit beast, and they began to melt. Those demonic immortal spirit beasts melted by the Heaven Flame 9 suns kept dropping all sorts of beast cores. The beast cores gathered on the ground. No matter how many demonic immortal spirit beasts there were below level 3, they wouldn't even essence blood able to get away from Yemo's Heaven Flame 9 suns. The purple didn't shrink and instead expanded, enveloping those at the border. Even level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts began to wither. The few hundred level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts knew things weren't good. They really wanted to charge to Yemo, but there were more and more purple rays and even their bodies began to melt. Some level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts who were smart quickly left the range of the sun and disappeared. More level 4 demonic immortal spirit beasts wanted to follow, but Yemo reacted. Even though Heaven Flame 9 suns was very hard to use, he released Zisu. Illusion Cloud Domain Kill Strike. A huge purple sword ray slashed down. Screech. Sharp screams sounded and beast cores fell. The offensive capability of level 4 immortal spirit beasts were much stronger than level 3's, but after losing half their life to the Heaven Flame 9 Sons, they could only die. In less than 5 minutes, the dense clutter of demonic immortal spirit beasts had been cleared up. There were only piles and piles of beast cores. Some level 1 and level 2 beast cores even began to melt. But level 3 and level 4 were still complete. Emo ate a few pills and waved all the beast cores into his jade card. His contribution points immediately increased by 100,000. Jinbingyu looked at this scene in shock, not daring to believe Emo did this. She knew Emo had Heaven Flame and could gather into a sun, but she didn't expect it to be this scary. Even a great eternity immortal would need more time to kill this many demonic immortal spirit beasts. Emo ate a few pills and felt his footsteps weak. Jinbingyu noticed this immediately and asked worriedly, "Martial brother, are you okay?" Emo waved his hand and said, "I'm fine, these things give contribution points quick, but it's too exhausting." Despite this, Emo was still very shocked. His Heaven Flame 9 Sons was still on the 4th sun, and was this powerful already. If he could release 9 suns, then so what if tens of thousands of immortal emperors attacked him? There shouldn't be any great eternity immortal, send me into the flying snow orb. Otherwise, it'll affect you too much. Plus, I can see what's going on inside the flying snow orb, Jinbingyu said. This was only the outskirts, and the demonic immortal spirit beasts here were so powerful. There might be more demonic immortal spirit beasts inside. But she couldn't even help Emo. Emo fell silent for a moment, and said, "Okay, there shouldn't be a lot of great eternity immortal. If they come, I'll let you out immediately, and put away the flying snow orb." Jinbingyu breathed easy. Emo hung the flying snow orb on his chest. It was indeed much more convenient to do things alone. He had much less concerns. Plus, the 3-birth chant didn't need one to stop to recover immortal essence and spirit sense. When Emo came before a hill, he dazed and immediately became excited. A 2-people-tall blue fruit tree was in the middle of the hill. There were 6 blue fruits on it. "Duluo Heaven Fruit!" Jinbingyu called out excited. Emo knew this was level 6 Duluo Heaven Fruit. It was blue on the outside and red on the inside. It could be used to concoct many pills. But most immortals wouldn't use it for pill concoction, and would just eat it straight up. This was much better than using it for pill concoction. It can allow any immortal below status immortal to break through a small level. Emo was abstruse immortal middle stage now. If he ate the fruit, he would immediately reach abstruse immortal tertiary stage. It also had no side effects. Thinking that he would reach abstruse immortal peak stage immediately, then he would be able to have divine damnation to reach great unity immortal. He had large amounts of great unity immortal pills, unlike other abstruse immortals. Great immortal was right before his eyes. He lacked time now the most, so a fruit that could save his cultivation time undoubtedly made Emo very excited. However, one could only eat 1 Duluo Heaven Fruit. Otherwise, if he ate all of them, he might be great extreme immortal now. He lacked time now the most, so a fruit that could save his cultivation time undoubtedly made Emo very excited. However, one could only eat 1 Duluo Heaven Fruit. Otherwise, if he ate all of them, he might be great extreme immortal now. Emo became very grateful to those demonic immortal spirit beasts. They were better than immortals. At least they wouldn't touch the fruits before they were mature. There was clearly some time before the fruits were ripe. Emo wasn't going to wait here for it. Other people didn't have means, but he had a lot. Not only did he have Golden Page World, but even the flying snow orb could transplant the Duluo Heaven Fruit. But Emo knew that if he transplanted the fruits to there, it would be useless. The flying snow orb couldn't handle such good things. It could at most grow level 4 immortal spirit herbs. Spirit Sense Emo was planning to send the Duluo Heaven Fruit into this Golden Page World. He was planning to dig up this entire mountain. He was afraid other people's spirit sense would scan the fruit, so Emo threw down a spirit sense barrier formation. "Wait!" Just when Yemo dug up the fruit, a desperate voice sounded. Yemo's spirit sense scanned two people flying here. He just rapidly sent the hill into his golden page world as though he didn't hear it. Jinbingyu saw Yemo didn't send the fruit into the flying snow orb and knew Yemo probably had another immortal spirit herb garden or small world. Did you just take the Duluo heaven fruit? That immortal stared at Yemo. This was a great unity immortal, slightly fat and little hair. The other was abstruse immortal tertiary stage. Yemo estimated that he probably wasn't afraid of these two. Even if he can't beat them, he could charge into the depth of the Mist Demon Palace. Duluo heaven fruit? I don't know, I just saw there was a good immortal spirit herb so I took it. Yemo said calmly. The great unity immortal frowned and said plainly. Regardless, show me. If it's Duluo heaven fruit, it would die quickly if you put it in your storage ring or immortal spirit herb. I promise that if it's really Duluo heaven fruit I'll leave you one. He wasn't too sure if Yemo had it or not. If Yemo really had it he would have attacked already, but he was rather far and his spirit sense was strangely blocked so he didn't see clearly. Yemo laughed. How was there such shameless guy? He didn't intend to take it out at all and just patted the dust on his body. Why do I have to show you the immortal spirit herb I dug? Even if it's a chaos spirit item, what are you going to do if I don't show you? Then Yemo was planning to fight. You're asking to die. The abstruse immortal tertiary stage immortal saw Yemo was a mere abstruse immortal middle stage and dared to be this cocky to great unity immortal. Suddenly, 10 more figures flew over and the great unity immortal ate down his words. Yemo laughed intentionally. I'm not going to give you the immortal spirit herb I dug. If you want it then come rob me. I've seen too many shameless people like you. The other immortals didn't know what Yemo dug but they realized what was going on. They didn't expect this abstruse immortal middle stage to be this bold, not taking a great unity immortal seriously. Realizing this, although no one spoke for Yemo but most people looked at the great unity immortal with contempt. The great unity immortal sneered and just wanted to say something when he saw a few rainbow flares appear in the sky and immediately stopped talking. The other immortals saw this and immediately all flew over. The great unity immortal shot a few rays at Yemo and flew off. Yemo sneered and burned the spirit sense marks on him with heaven flame 9 suns. When he was only nascent soul state, he burned truth realization state spirit sense mark. Now, a mere great unity immortal dared to mark him with spirit sense. If it was some other person, he would change a direction and fly off, but Yemo didn't intend to do so at all. He also flew towards the flare. Yemo hadn't been here for long and didn't know the place. He didn't know where the good things were. Since so many people were rushing there, it must mean there are good things there. He wasn't going to pass up on such opportunity. Yemo flew and on the way he saw 10 more immortals head towards the same direction. 15 minutes later Yemo saw a palace. Before it was a huge square, Yemo couldn't scan his spirit sense into the palace. There was 2,000 immortals gathered at the square all discussing or exchanging things. A great extreme immortal primary stage flew up and said, Friends, we're quite lucky to enter this door and found the entrance to the Mist Demon Palace this quickly. Those who want to go in, let's attack together. Yemo looked at another abstruse immortal and said, Was the door we entered before not the entrance? This abstruse immortal knew Yemo, the abstruse immortal middle stage who still flew on his flying magic artifact at the outskirts. He explained. After entering the Mist Demon Valley, there are 9 doors. It's said each door has different fortunes. There's a chance to find the real entrance to the Mist Demon Palace at each door, which is this palace. After the restriction of this palace is broken, it would recover after 1,000 years. The real good things of the Mist Demon Palace are in here. Inside is another world. There are a lot of good things, but a lot of immortals die too. Yemo knew that this abstruse immortal said the last bit to him, implying that his power was too low. Okay, let's attack the restriction in groups. The great unity immortal said. Yemo just wanted to go contribute his power, and he saw that abstruse immortal peak stage who ambushed him fly over. At the same time, the gray-robed abstruse immortal also saw Yemo. There was pure shock in his eyes when he saw Yemo. He thought Yemo had long died in the demonic immortal spirit beast tide. Suddenly, a purple light rose up into the sky. All the immortals near Yemo retreated. Yemo's killing intent flooded out. Yemo just wanted to kill this gray-robed abstruse immortal and didn't realize that he caused too much scene releasing Zisu. But he didn't care, I was going to kill this abstruse immortal no matter what. That great unity immortal forcing Yemo before was also surprised Yemo had such killing force. At the same time, he couldn't sense his spirit sense mark at all. Yemo clearly removed it. Theoretically, Yemo should be running as far as possible, but instead he followed here. This abstruse immortal didn't fear him at all. Emoing. Yemo heard a crisp voice call him. Soon another pink figure landed not far from Yemo. Yemo knew this female immortal. It was one of the 4 immortals he met on the way. The other 3 followed. Yemo quickly saluted with his fists. Emoing greet Brother Xian, and everyone. Emoing, where did your Dao partner go? She's dead, but you're living quite well. The red-robed female immortal was full of contempt. Yemo took the gray-robed abstruse immortal's storage ring and saluted with his fists. I didn't know this person at all, but when the demonic immortal spirit beast tide came, he ambushed me. I'm just getting revenge this time. So that was it, the immortals realized. Some of them would have done the same to survive. But Yemo survived in that and came back for revenge immediately, not caring there were great unity immortal and great extreme immortal here. Wait! Suddenly, an eagle-nosed immortal landed before Yemo. It was a great unity immortal primary stage. Yemo knew this guy came for the storage ring. The great unity immortal stared at Yemo and said, "You just killed my friend. Since he ambushed you first, I won't care about it, but I need to take back this storage ring." Yemo sneered. He needed some contribution points the most. How could he give out what he took? He just put away the storage ring as though he didn't hear it. Seeing this, the great unity immortal's face went bad and released the yellow magic artifact immediately. The great extreme immortal before sneered, "Now is the time for everyone to enter the Mist Demon Palace. Everyone will be attacking the restriction. If you have conflicts, then resolve them elsewhere. If you keep fighting here, then don't blame me for what happens." The great unity immortal's face changed and saluted with his fists before saying to Yemo, "Let's go resolve it on the side." Yemo smiled calmly. "Very well, let's go resolve it on the side." If it was elsewhere, Yemo wouldn't be interested in fighting this great unity immortal, but he easily got 100k contribution points from Feng Shangjian last time. He really liked this method of collecting contribution points. Seeing the two leave, the immortals nearby took back their glances. Some people shook their heads. Yemo was indeed powerful, but no matter what, he was still an abstruse immortal. 5 minutes later, the great unity immortal stopped and looked at this abstruse immortal middle stage who didn't fear him at all. He was a little confused. Yemo even seemed a little happy, as though he was about to get something. At this moment, he even felt a little creeped out. He didn't understand where Yemo got his confidence from. "Give me a phase storage ring. If you think you're losing something, I can give you some compensation." The great unity immortal frowned and didn't stay so dominant. Hearing this, Yemo realized this great unity immortal really knew the gray-robed abstruse immortal. But no matter what, Yemo wasn't going to give a storage ring. He got away. "If you want to fight, then fight. Stop wasting time. I still need to go to Mist Demon Palace," Yemo said. No matter what, he was a great unity immortal. An abstruse immortal middle stage dared to be this cocky with him. How could he take it? He released the yellow magic artifact. Screech! Countless yellow rays shot out from it, and entwined together. But they didn't shoot towards Yemo and instead slowly expanded, forming a death chamber. The magic artifact then turned into 2 wheels. The 2 wells squeezed towards Yemo. As the magic artifact sped up, the sounds grew louder, making Yemo's head dizzy. He even had the impulse of running away, or his sea of consciousness would be overturned by this sound. But before this sound got sharper, Emo expanded his spirit sense domain and released World Rock. The terrifying sound weakened a lot immediately. The great Unity Immortal breathed easy. He was very concerned with Emo to be able to kill Soafei in one move, but now Emo didn't seem to be able to last under his soul sound. It seemed he overestimated this abstruse immortal middle stage, or something went wrong with Soafei. Suddenly, Emo's World Rock smashed over. Rumble, crack. The World Rock collided with his magic artifact, and a shocking sound flew out. Even with Spirit Sense Domain, Emo felt his sea of consciousness go dizzy. The immortals before the palace all heard this sound and was shook. An abstruse immortal middle stage fighting a great Unity Immortal caused such a huge commotion. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.